won't advance. The other will, and that there's a lot on the line. It's not like, hey, well, we can play better next week if at all possible. It's a situation where it's nice tonight.
But you do kind of break a football season up into different segments, and without any question, this is the most important segment. This is where, hey, you've already prepared your team. You've already installed everything that you want them to be able to do, and it's win or be finished. Mm-hmm. So it's an important part of the season.
Let's talk about the season and the matchups. Should Hutchinson get by Manhattan, or whoever wins this game will advance and play the winner of Lawrence Free State and Wichita South. Either one of those two would be but you got to kind of probably figure out it would be Free State. That would be a good game. Dodge City plays Campus. That's in the lower part of the bracket. The other teams that are in the same part of our bracket is Derby taking on Wichita North tonight, and Wichita West taking on Wichita East tonight. That's the bracket that Hutchinson's in. When I say bracket, we're at the lower end of basically of the 6A bracket, with Derby being the number one seed on the west side, Gardner Edgerton the number one seed on the east side.
Right. You break up the bracket really into four components. First of all, you go west and east, 16 teams in the west, 16 teams in the east. And then on that west bracket with 16 teams, you kind of break that into two brackets of 8 to see who will make it to the semifinal game.
Should be good games tonight all across the state of Kansas. I think a lot of the not procrastinators, that's the wrong word to use, the prognosticators, that's what word I was looking for, are looking at the second round being some of the more competitive rounds. But like we said, we showed it last year that you could have a pretty competitive game being the 13th seed or the 14th seed going up against a 4 or 5.
You just never know what might happen once you get into the heat of a football game, and maybe one team has some turnovers, maybe somebody has some adversity that they didn't expect. Anything can happen. But certainly that Wichita West, Wichita East game, that's an 8 versus a 9. The 8 versus a 9 is always a toss-up game. And then you get into some of these others that are a little bit of a question mark. The number 2 seed in the West, Dodge City, is 8-0. They're very strong, but their schedule is a little bit of a question mark because they didn't play a lot of teams with outstanding records this season. So it'll be interesting to see what Dodge does against Campus, and then if that goes as planned, how Dodge does in the second round, probably against Junction City.
It should be interesting. Now, from all that we know, no injuries to have to ascertain, other than the fact that Barlow's arm is still in a cast. And I'm talking about one of our fine little slot backs that we have out there. His arm's still in the cast, and still some injuries in the secondary as well.
Yes, but talking to Coach Vernon, expect pretty much everybody to be available except for Tyler Robinson, who probably had a type injury that would keep him out for the remainder of the season. But expect Emilio Martinez to be back in the secondary again, and we expect Jalen Barlow to play even with that cast on his hand. Jalen Barlow's one of the fastest players on the Salthawk team, so they like to have him in the lineup if he can go.
Kind of a surprise last week. We talked with Coach this week. We jumped out 14-0 lead. Felt pretty confident that, hey, this is going to be just how we thought it was going to go against Campus, but Campus did not lie down. They fought right back, and Hutchinson did pull within 3 late in the ball game in the second half, but give credit to Campus. They were able to figure out stuff at halftime and get things going, and they answered back quickly.
It was a big win for the Campus Colts at Gowan Stadium against Hutchinson. Campus came in 0-7, and as you said, Glenn, they got down 14-0, but they did not roll over and quit. They continued to compete. As it turned out, Hutchinson, you'd really have to say that Campus played more physical than Hutchinson. Campus won the turnover battle, and Campus just played good football to come out with that 38-21 victory.
Again, this is the Salthawk pregame show with Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. Again, Randy McKay will be taking my place in the booth tonight. We'll have Sarah Peterson running the Salthawk Sports on the YouTube channel video, as well as it'll be uploaded to NFHS Network as well later on. So tune into that. You can tune in to HutchPost.com to go to that if you wish to watch by stream. And again, we're in Manhattan getting set for the 6A first round playoff game for this year's playoffs. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more right after this.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Kansas did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back on the Salt Hawk pregame show. And Dan, again, we looked at the brackets, and this is a situation you've coached before. How do you get your kids up? You had a tough loss last week. You were leading by 14 points, and all of a sudden it turned on you. You got some kids that are seniors that may never play another game of football in their lives. Other than, maybe some flag football. Some might go on to play junior college football or maybe KCAC football or what have you. But how do you get them up for this game?
That's always a challenge. We always say motivation comes from within each individual, and it's hard for another human being to instill motivation into somebody else. But every coach I know does everything humanly possible to do that. And we'll talk a little bit more about this probably in the next segment. But in my humble opinion, probably the best approach is nobody expects us to get anything done at Manhattan, at Bishop Stadium and Seco Park. Nobody expects Hutchinson to come in here at 2-7 and defeat a 7-1 Manhattan team. There's no pressure. Let's just go have fun. Let's go play football. Let's play like you were 6 years old and just go after it, fly to the football, run around the field, and make some things happen and have fun, and let's see what happens.
And it's easy for kids to get caught up in the moment that this is, this didn't go in our way. This is it. I'm glad. Just wish the season was over. It's cold outside and everything. But at the same time, when the whistle blows and you hear that kickoff, you hear the ball in the air, it's time to get to going. And I think you're going to see some extra effort from some kids tonight.
Well, hopefully you see that competitive zeal kick in with quite a few of the players. And don't underestimate when it starts to sink in that, wow, we don't win tonight, especially for those 18 seniors. We don't win tonight. This is the last opportunity for me to put on a Salt Hawk football helmet and go out and compete. Sometimes that kicks in and it sparks a person.
A lot of good things have happened this year. They made the adjustment on the offensive line that due to injuries that I think really worked out well by moving Jonathan Fan over to the center position. I think that's helped kind of anchor in that middle part of the line. We've had Duvall kind of has decided to take a definite step and be one of the leading rushers. Last few games he's been outstanding, and you got some other kids that have played well as well. But Alec McEwen has played really well
all season.
They've really played. Cantu has played well all season long, and I'm not even getting to the defensive side, which. You've had some good defensive efforts out there.
Well, the offensive line has been pretty solid almost every game. Now, there's been a series here and there where they maybe haven't blown people off the ball as well as they usually do, but pretty consistently been pretty good. And the only offensive lineman that's played the same position every single game is Levi Allen at left tackle. He's turned into a really good one. He's a junior. He'll be back. Caden Pennington moved from center to left guard. He's played well, and as you mentioned, Jonathan Fan at center. Chase Kepler had to step in for Tyler Robinson after that injury, and Kepler has really done an outstanding job. And then Tajon James at right tackle and Kyler Burnett at tight end. Really, of all of the different elements of a football team, if I had to single out one on this Hutchinson High School team that's been the most consistently good, it's been that offensive line.
Probably after the loss last week, had the coaching staff kind of scratching their heads because you go up 14-0, and all of a sudden they make the adjustments they need to make, and Hutchinson doesn't make the adjustments that they need to make, and all of a sudden you're digging yourself in a little bit of a hole, and Hutchinson doesn't have the kind of offense that can come out and dig out of a hole. When we pulled within 24-21, I thought, okay, maybe we're going to be able to get a stop, get the possession, but Campus showed that they could just march right down the field and score, and that was a big score, that second one for them.
Got to give Campus a lot of credit for an 0-7 team to not get rattled when the Salthawks started to make that comeback and got it to within 24-21. Campus continued to compete, and they actually extended the lead.
We're going to take a break, come back, and talk about some of the keys to victory tonight for the Salthawks as we're in Manhattan, Kansas, again at Bishop Field in Seco Park. That's just located right smack dab in the middle of Manhattan. Of course, Manhattan's kind of all abuzz because their big win over Oklahoma this last week, so you're going to see a lot of K-State stuff going on up here, and it's a great atmosphere for football, again, at Bishop Field. We'll be back with more right after this.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student-athletes right here in Kansas. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. Randy McKay's in the booth along with Sarah Peterson. Joe Blake will be on the sidelines. And Randy will be taking my place tonight. I hope to get back into it next week, Nac, and we'll see what happens. It might be Randy again. Well, that'll be a good problem that we would have if we have to try to figure out who's going to be where coming up next week for second round. But it could happen, and I hope it does happen tonight.
Glenn, you've done a tremendous job as our air traffic controller all season, and I have no doubt that you'll get it all worked out. We'll go wherever you tell us you want us to go.
Let's talk about the keys to victory. Coach Knack's keys to victory. Got to get that car running there. There she goes. And your keys to victory first of all, for the Salthawks.
I just get a kick out of those keys rattling and that car engine starting up. But one will be very familiar. Hutchinson has to win the turnover battle tonight because, frankly, Manhattan has a few more weapons on both sides of the football than Hutchinson does. Therefore, the Salthawks need to find a way to get a few extra possessions. Hutchinson needs to play clean, no penalties. As you mentioned, Glenn, the Hutchinson offensive attack is one designed to grind out 5, 6, 7 yards at a time. It's not a big strike offensive attack. So if you get hit with a 15-yard penalty, it makes it almost impossible to overcome that. Control the clock, burn that clock, control the ball, keep your offense on the field, and keep that defense off the field. And then, to me, the most important key to victory tonight for Hutchinson, go out there and have fun. It's a great chance to go play football. Go have some fun.
And we'll see what the weather's going to be like. Temperatures should be a little better on coming up in just a little bit. It shouldn't be quite as cold and blustery as it has been the last couple of days, because that affects your practicing as well. But you're right. Have fun, enjoy yourself, play loose. Like you said, nothing to lose. Now, let's flip it around. What's the keys for victory for Manhattan?
Well,
how they stop the Salthawks?
Last week, we saw Hutchinson maybe get a little bit overconfident. They didn't feel like that Campus was going to really be an opponent that you had to worry about. Got off to a 14-0 start, and then Campus came roaring back. Manhattan has to be careful about that same thing happening to them. They don't want to overlook this Hutchinson Salthawk team because it's a team that has shown the ability to move the ball and a team that's been pretty solid on defense a lot of times. So the number one thing for the Manhattan Indians, they have to respect Hutchinson and come out ready to play. Now, beyond that, Manhattan has lots of tools to use. They have lots of different formations they use. So as long as they are mentally ready to compete and they get into all those different formations that they use offensively, they could be a tough team to stop.
last week against campus. Dallas Chambers threw the ball a little bit. We saw him throw more than we had before, and I think it was due to the situation we were behind, and we had those penalties go against us. But he was able to get some tosses out there. He's capable of throwing the football.
It's a Salt Hawk football team that has not gone to the air very frequently, and I want to say for the season they've completed something like 11 or 12 passes in 8 football games. So it's not a team that likes to throw the football. They like to grind it out on the ground. But they did show that they have the ability to get some people open, and if Dallas Chambers can get the ball to them, they could get some big plays.
What's some of the names that Randy's going to be calling, first of all, on the Manhattan side of the football, the offensive side for Coach Sharks?
Well, number 5, Lorenzo Wilhoit, is the leading rusher for Manhattan on the season. He's a junior. He's a good one. The quarterback is Dane Oschenbrenner. He's also a junior, but he started all last year as a sophomore.
So he's seasoned, yeah.
And Manhattan had a good team last year. They made it all the way to the semifinal game. Derby beat them in order to go to the state championship game. So he's definitely capable. He's a good one. Another running back is B.J. Young. He's the senior, 5'10" senior. And then I want to mention one player, if you don't mind, Glenn, that has committed to Kansas State. I don't think we'll see him play tonight. He's a fantastic offensive lineman, 6'5", 285 pounds, but he sustained a broken arm in the first game of the season this year, and he has not played since that injury, and I would not expect to see him tonight. But his name is Sam Shields. Sam Shields, a Division I legitimate player. On the defensive side, Chandler Marks is a good one, and he's a tall one, 6'6", 250-pound linebacker. Tice Hoover has already received an offer from Butler to play football next year. He's a little bit of a utility player. He's an outside linebacker on defense. He'll also play tight end on offense. And those are probably the main names to look for. Jeremiah Ustaki is a good one. He's at linebacker. And also, I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this name, Glenn, but Damian, I think it's Alalio.
Alalio?
Alalio. Mm-hmm. He's a good player on the defensive side for Manhattan.
Well, it's going to be a little cold on the sidelines, but Joe will be able to handle it. So, of course, Joe Blake on the sidelines, we appreciate very much Brown Shoe Fit sponsorship of him, along with Papa John's Pizza. Papa John's, it's 501 East 17th, and of course, Brown Shoe Fit for a long time up on East 30th Street. I hope Joe has his wool socks on tonight. Could be a little breezy down there.
Well, he's a pretty tough young man. He'll figure out a way to stay warm, and if all else fails, he can huddle up with a bunch of the players. Yep.
And it's been fun having Joe on the sidelines this year due to the fact that he knows all his classmates and even underclassmen down there, and we'll be seeing him on the basketball court before too long.
He's done a good job, and you're right. We'll look forward to Salt Hawk basketball season, and I hope Joe has a tremendous season.
Yeah, we'll be switching over that before too long. But hopefully we have some more football left.
That's
Sarah
right.
Peterson will be behind the camera as well. Again, that's Salt Hawk Sports at YouTube.com. Salt Hawk Sports at YouTube.com is where you go to find that at. So that alarm tells us, hey, it's time to get going, okay?
I thought maybe dinner was ready.
Maybe so. Again, on behalf of Coach Knack, glad to have you along on the Salt Hawk pregame show each and every week. Again, hope to join you next week as well if we get a Salt Hawk victory. So long, everybody. Kickoff just minutes away.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football pregame show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salt Hawk game, each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.
Hey, honey, is this your course schedule for the fall?
Yep.
Let me see here. English, good. Chemistry, trigonometry, excellent. World history, I love world history. Baseball? Wait, baseball? Baseball isn't a course, honey.
Well, sure it is, Mom. High school sports are about so much more than winning and losing. They teach lessons that can't be taught in the classroom, like accountability and self-discipline, the value of teamwork. I may not be earning a grade, but I'm learning how to compete later in life. Isn't that what getting a good education is all about?
Yes, of course it is. I was just testing you.
What can teenagers here in Kansas learn from participating in high school sports? Plenty, as it turns out. That's why they're called education-based athletics.
High school sports. There's so much more than just a game.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's time for Hutchinson Salt Hawk Sports on BW Radio. This broadcast is brought to you by First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, H&R Block, and the Medicine Shop. Salt Hawk Sports also brought to you by these Salt Hawk Boosters, Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services, Jackson Meat, Chick-fil-A, Wind Insurance Group, and I Need a Cleaners. Sideline reports are brought to you by Brown's Shoe Fit and Papa John's Pizza. Now your host, Glenn Grunwald.
Well, once again, welcome to Lou Lane Field at Bishop Stadium in Manhattan, Kansas. It is the Little Apple District, playoff action now for the Hutchinson High School Salt Hawks taking on the Manhattan Indians. This activity being brought to you by this station, its advertisers, and the member schools of the Kansas State High School Activities Association. No rebroadcast in whole or in part may be made without the written permission of the Kansas State High School Activities Association. And what a great night, 48 degrees at game time. I'm not Glenn Grunwald. I'm Randy McKay filling in for Glenn, who was in Liberal earlier today to take care of the broadcast of the Blue Dragon basketball game against Eastern Oklahoma State. And partner, as always, doing the color commentating for the Salt Hawk football, Coach Dan Nacarado. Dan, how you doing?
Oh, it's a great night for football. Glad to be with you, Randy. Thank you for making the trip, and congratulations to the Blue Dragon men's basketball team, opening the season with a win over East Oklahoma State out at Liberal, 93-74, and we're sure Glenn Grunwald and Darren Dunn did a fantastic job with that broadcast.
And I'm sure they did. I hope that we do the same thing here. We want to thank a lot of people welcome a lot of people joining us, not only folks watching the stream in Hutchinson, but also here in Manhattan. They've given us the opportunity to do the stream for both places.
That's right, and all you have to do to access the live stream is go to YouTube and look for Salt Hawk Sports, and then just click on the icon, and Sarah Peterson will provide the pictures.
And we've still got about 7 minutes yet before game time. Let's go back a little bit to last Friday night. Game probably the Salt Hawks should have won, but yet they fell to a much improved campus team, actually, much better than their 0-6 record would have indicated.
You got to give campus credit. They came in without a win. Hutchinson Salt Hawks jumped out to a 14-0 start right in the opening quarter. Looked like everything was going right according to the script, and the Hutchinson Salt Hawks were going to pick up that third win of the season. But the campus Colts did not roll over and quit. They played hard, they played physical, they executed well, and they earned the win.
Yes, they did. And, of course, tonight, kind of an underdog, definitely an underdog. No kind of about it. I think there's no question that Hutch High is definitely the underdog against this Manhattan team that comes in tonight at 7-1, while the Salt Hawks are 2-6. So a little bit of disparity with the records, but this is playoff time. It's football. That's why they play the games.
Absolutely correct. And keep in mind, the Hutchinson Salt Hawks offense has moved the ball pretty well all season. The defense has played pretty well most of the time, and a couple of those games that Hutchinson did not win, they had a few turnover problems that really cost them the game. But you're right, Randy, this Manhattan Indian football team really only had 2 close games all season. They blew out 6 opponents, and then they had a really close game against Topeka High that they won, that they lost. Yeah. And then they had a very close game against Junction City that they kicked the last-second field goal to win by 3 points. And other than those 2 games, Manhattan pretty much blew out all their other opponents.
Well, as we mentioned, 48 degrees at the kickoff time here, and the wind out of the north, but just very negligible, about 6 miles an hour out of the north. Let's go check in with the third member of our broadcast crew. Down on the sidelines, brought to you by Brown's Shoe Fit Company at 410 East 30th in Hutchinson, and Papa John's Pizza at 501 East 17th in Hutchinson. Joe, what's the feeling down there?
Well, you're exactly right. It's 48 degrees, and what little wind out here tonight is coming from the north. Should be a great night for football, as Hutchinson's looking to pull off the upset against Manhattan.
He's learning from the best, Coach Knack.
Joe, one of these nights we're just going to have to get together and do that in stereo.
I think we do need that pre-recorded.
So tell us, okay, let's take a look at the matchup. We've got the Salt Hawks. They've got a pretty big offensive line. The defensive line for Manhattan. How do they stack up to the Salt Hawks?
Well, as it turns out, it's strength against strength, because the Salt Hawk offensive line has probably been the most consistently good aspect of Hutchinson's football team this season, and they're going against the defensive line for Manhattan that is very impressive on film. And that defensive line, maybe the most impressive of them, the most impressive of the bunch might be Damian Ilalio, and he gets in on lots of tackles, but it's a Manhattan defensive unit that flies to the football. They have a lot of guys that do their job first, and then they all fly to the ball and rally to it.
And you mentioned in the pregame one of the guys, a big guy for the defense that will not be in action tonight, who is already committed to Kansas State.
I actually messed that up. Thank you for bringing it up, Randy. I appreciate it, because I actually messed that up at the pregame. Sam Shields is an offensive lineman who did have a shoulder injury in the first game of the season. He did sit out 3 or 4 games, but he has been playing again. He's number 76. He's 285 pounds, 6'4". He's a good one, and he is committed to Kansas State.
All right, so we're about 3.5 minutes away from game time. Let's take a 2-minute timeout and come back to get the game underway on the Salt Hawk Sports Network.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're First for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started, or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salt Hawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Come gobble up the savings at Pools Plus this November. All in-stock grills are $100 off. Save 25% on CR Plastics outdoor furniture. What a perfect time to warm up for the holidays, with up to $2,000 savings on all in-stock spas and $5,000 savings on all in-stock swim spas. Pools Plus is feeling thankful all November long. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus this holiday season. 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Welcome back to Lou Lane Field, Bishop Stadium in Manhattan. I'm Randy McKay along with Coach Dan Nacarado and Joe Blake on the sidelines. Of course, the flip, the coin just took place. The Salt Hawks won the flip, deferred to the second half, so we'll get our first look here this evening at the Manhattan offense.
It's a Manhattan offense that will provide a lot of different formations. They typically only run 3 or 4 plays out of each one of those formations, but they give their opponent's defense a lot to prepare for.
And, of course, they're being led by quarterback Dane Aschenbrenner, who is a 5'11", 175-pound junior, and he has got a terrific arm. He has 73.5 yards passing per game. That's his average so far this season, but he's second in rushing on the Indians team.
He's a good one. He started all year last year as a sophomore, and remember last year these Manhattan Indians went all the way to the semifinal game. Derby defeated them, but it wasn't really a blowout, and then Derby went on to win the state championship the next week. So Aschenbrenner is definitely battle-tested.
And back deep for the Indians, waiting the kick is going to be Joe Hall, and, of course, to kick off for the Salt Hawks, Carter Boo.
If you're just tuning in, be sure to check out the live stream on YouTube. just go to YouTube and then search for Salt Hawk Sports and then click on the image, and you'll be able to watch the game along with the audio.
Salt Hawks with their usual mock approach to the football.
We always call that the Stampede.
Stampede. All right, we're all set. Carter Boo's got it teed up. We're ready to go here. Left-footed kicker for the Salt Hawks. And a low line drive kick. Taken at the 13 by the Indians, breaking a couple tackles. And that would be Nathaniel Hansen, who is a defensive back for the Indians. So we'll see our first look now at the Indian offense as they've come out 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
Give Ben Patterson the credit for slowing down that return. Ben Patterson, the sophomore, on the kick coverage.
Aschenbrenner starts in the shotgun formation. Initial handoff, that goes to B.J. Young. And little, if any, gain, maybe a half a yard. We'll still call it 2nd down and 10. Okay, they're going to give him a yard.
Good job by that Salt Hawk defense. David Waymeyer and Hunter Austin made the stop.
Yeah, Young is averaging 127.8 yards a carry, so that is, a game.
Yeah.
And so that's a good stop right
He's
there.
A good
limited to just 1 yard.
One of the team captains for Manhattan.
The snap back to Aschenbrenner. He's going to throw over the middle. Pass complete to Chandler Marks.
Chandler Marks, a big target at 6'6", 215 pounds.
Out to the 46-yard line where it's 1st down and 10 now for the Indians. 2 plays and a 1st down.
Chandler Marks, one of those players that will see action on offense at tight end, but he's primarily on the defensive side of the ball as a linebacker.
Okay. Still in the shotgun. You got B.J. Young to his right. Fake to Young, and Aschenbrenner's going to keep it, and he's going to pick up 8 yards to the Salt Hawk side of the field at the Salt Hawk 47. Actually, they're going to give him 7 yards, 2nd down and 3 now for the Indians. Just underway, 10:27 here left in that first quarter.
Devin Hackney came up to make the stop. He's really come on strong this season. The sophomore making lots of tackles.
2nd down, 3. Actually, it's about 4. Aschenbrenner still. And inside handoff goes to Lorenzo Wilhite. So Wilhite picking up enough yardage for the 1st down. Ball resting now at the Salt Hawk 44-yard line. So we still have Aschenbrenner. He is still in the shotgun. Young to his right. And handoff goes to Young. And he breaks a couple of tackles. He's free down to the 20, the 15, at the 20 now. And he's... Are they going to give it to him, or are they going to give him down just short?
Number 32, B.J. Young with a couple of nice...
B.J. Young with a 43-yard run. They're going to leave that short of the... Or now they are going to give it to him. Okay. The ref on the far side was pointing, like about a foot left. But no, touchdown for Young.
44 yards on the scamper. Excellent blocking. And then he broke about 4 tackles.
That's for sure. And once you got into secondary, there was no stopping him. So on to kick the extra point.
Grant Snowden.
Okay, yeah, Grant Snowden. So 9:27 left to go here in this first quarter, and Manhattan strikes first. They are on top 7-0. We'll be back with the Manhattan kickoff right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Apple Lane Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
Thank you.
And we are back. 9:27 left to go. Of course, Manhattan striking first, taking the opening kickoff in about, 5 plays, scoring the touchdown and the extra point good, 9:27. So we got Ryan McHugh McEwen back to take the kickoff. Alex standing back at the 6-yard line. Snowden teeing the ball up.
Gets a little confusing with Snowden because he wears a different number when Manhattan is clad in their white uniforms. Tonight they're in blue.
Short kick. Fair catch made at about the 30-yard line.
The kicker wears number 17 in the other uniforms, but tonight he's wearing number 44 in the blue uniforms.
So let's go down to the sidelines, check in with Joe Blake. Joe, what seems to be the atmosphere down there amongst the players?
Well, they're disappointed with the start on the defensive side, but they're still energetic and hopefully wanting to answer the call here.
Sideline reports being brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit and Papa John's. Salt Hawks on offense now. Dallas Chambers underneath center. Oh, we got movement and a flag. Looks like it's going to be on the defense, so a nice 5 yards without having to do anything.
So often the defensive teams jump offside when Hutchinson goes in motion, but at this time could be either way.
Now the officials are talking it over. Nope, it is offsides against Manhattan, so we'll move it up 5 yards. So it'll be first down and 5 now for the Salt Hawks. The ball at the 33-yard line.
Through the years, we've seen that time and time again where Hutchinson sends a man in motion and the defensive linemen jump into the neutral zone.
All right. Chambers bringing him up to the line. Del Val is at the fullback position, who's had a great year himself. Chambers with the pitch to McEwen out to the left side. Little hesitation, but gets across the 40. And finally tackled down at the 46-yard line. A nice 16-yard play by Alex McEwen.
Alex McEwen, fantastic run. And also, how about that lead block by Jalen? Was it Jalen Barlow that flat backs the man out there on the wing?
Didn't quite tell, but yeah. And it was a late pitch, too. That was reading the defense very well.
Somewhat of a dangerous pitch in traffic, but they made it work.
But it's first and 10 for the Salt Hawks. Back to pass is Chambers. He's being pressured. And a low pass incomplete.
Kinzer Newquist.
Intended for Newquist there.
Made a nice effort. Kinzer Newquist has a cast on one hand, but he's still an outstanding receiver. Salt Hawks don't throw the ball very much, though. He's primarily out there as an extra blocker for those run plays.
Yeah, Chambers is not, his passing ability is not what's got him the quarterback position.
No, he's running the option, and he runs it well. The strength of the Hutchinson Salt Hawk football team is the running game.
Cantu now at fullback. And Cantu's going to take the handoff right up the middle, getting out to the 50-yard line, a pickup of 3. We'll bring up a third down and 7 now for the Salt Hawks.
Well played by that Manhattan Indian defense. Damian Elalio led the charge.
So third down and 7. What do we do? What do we do here?
Go to your strength. Either run the option or run the rocket toss.
So you got Del Val back in the fullback position.
Ooh. Went to the option, but unfortunately Dallas Chambers lost his footing.
Yeah.
Now don't be surprised to see Hutchinson go for it rather than punt it.
I think it's to the point now, final game of the season, it could be the final game of the season. You want to continue on, but it's do or die. What do you have to lose?
That's right. If you don't win it, it's definitely your final game of the season.
Yeah. Oh, they're bringing in the punting team.
Sometimes what Coach Mike Vernon will do in that situation is try to draw the defense off sides and then get it to a 4th and 2 or something that's a little bit more manageable. But this time he has sent the punting team out.
So we'll see what happens. Michael Doyle and B.J. Young back deep avoiding the punt, which barely gets past the line of scrimmage, then backs up.
And that's part of the reason in high school why you go ahead and go for it on 4th down, because you see that happen time and time again with high school punts.
Bad kick, net punt of -1. So Manhattan takes over 1st and 10 on the Salt Hawk side of the field at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. And just 4 plays got them the first score. See what happens. Aschenbrenner in the shotgun. B.J. Young to his left this time. Young takes the handoff. Met there right at the middle. Pickup of maybe 1. Looks like.
That was Josiah Morgan coming from his defensive tackle position, squeezing down the line of scrimmage to make the tackle after a short gain.
So far, a good job of defense. One play that resulted in the touchdown, but still, they're doing a fine job here on first down. Maybe now we get to see Aschenbrenner's arm. Man in motion. Nope, Aschenbrenner's going to keep it. And he's going to get maybe another yard.
It was a zone read play similar to what you see Division I football teams run. There's one defensive lineman that goes unblocked. The quarterback reads him and decides whether to keep the ball or hand it off. That time he kept it.
So let's see if the defense can stick it to him again. 3rd down 6 now for the Indians. Ball resting at the 44-yard line. Aschenbrenner in the shotgun. And a little pressure, and he goes down. A sack there by the Salt Hawks.
David Waymeyer got deep into the backfield to collect the sack.
Nice job by the defense to hold him. 3 and out here, 4th down, and about 14, and the Indians are lining up to punt.
That is an outstanding defensive series by the Hutchinson Salt Hawks.
And give credit to these defensive coaches down there. They are all over the play before it happens.
Well, once again, the Manhattan Indians, they only run 3 or 4 plays out of each formation that they show. So these coaches for Hutchinson, they have scouted them well.
Aschenbrenner, the punt. Fumble on the return. Zach Hogan could not pick the ball up, was not able to fall on it. Therefore, the Indians did, and they've got it 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line of the Salt Hawks. It was a low punt, and could have been one of 2 things. You could have let it go, but then it takes the chance of dying before he gets to the end zone. I don't know. It was a tough call, but it was definitely mishandled, and the Indians are in business again. Aschenbrenner still in the shotgun. Young will be taking the ball. Oh, nice spin move, another fumble, and Young falls right back on top of it, bounced right up to him. Wow.
So difficult for the defense to make such an impressive stand, 3 and out punt, and then when they're not really expecting to, have to go right back out there and play defense deep in their own territory.
So we had a 1st and goal situation at the 4-yard line for the Indians. Young, the ball carrier again around the right end. Flag comes down from the backfield, or from the defensive backfield.
It's going to be an offensive hold, so I think that's going to move Manhattan back 10 yards.
Yep, hold is the call. Good call, Coach. So we're going to back them up 10 yards.
Love to see this defense come through in this situation.
Yeah. So 1st and goal now from the 13-yard line. So we'll see if the defense can stick in again.
If Hutchinson can stop Manhattan does have a pretty good field goal kicker. Okay. As we said earlier, he made a field goal the last play of the game against Junction City to pick up a win in a very close game a couple of weeks ago.
Aschenbrenner and Young in the backfield. Aschenbrenner with the keeper going around the left end. Got to the 10-yard line. Clock continues to run. 4:33 left in this first quarter.
How about the way Maddox Hennaha came up from his corner position? Maddox, not the biggest football player on the field, but he stuck his shoulders in there and made the open field tackle.
That's what you got to have. That's why you play.
That's right.
That's why you're on this team and playing, because you will do the stuff that you need to do.
Mad Dog Hennaha. Good man.
2nd down and goal from the 10. Aschenbrenner in the shotgun. And he's going to roll out to the right and keep it around the right end. Gets down to the 6-yard line is what they're going to give him.
Once again, outstanding defense. That was one of those run-pass options that you don't see that very much at the high school level.
Nice pursuit by the Salthawk defense.
Takes a lot of repetitions to make run-pass option plays effective. And I'll tell you what, Manhattan's done it pretty well all season. Hutchinson Salthawk defense ought to be proud of themselves.
3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. Aschenbrenner in the shotgun. B.J. Young to his right. They give it to Young. And he gets into the end zone. Last-minute surge. The defense was there.
Pretty good surge there by Ben Bolt, Mario Casito, Sam Shields, and the rest of that offensive line, and very good running by the captain, B.J. Young.
So 13-0, 3:08 left here in the first quarter. Snowden to line up for the extra point attempt. There's the snap. Placement, and the kick is up, and it is good. Again, 3:08 left in the first quarter. Manhattan with a 14-0 lead over the Hutchinson High School Salthawks. Back with the Manhattan kickoff right after this.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salthawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Well, back at the Lou Lane Field at Bishop Stadium in Manhattan, Kansas, playoff action between the Salthawks and the Indians of Manhattan. Imagine you debating or marching before hundreds of people. Kansas high school students have been debating and performing spectacular marching halftimes since school started. You're invited to support the fall activity programs of your school. Attend a game, volunteer to judge a debate, enjoy a music program, a public service message from the Kansas State High School Activities Association, and KWBW Radio Hutchinson. It's all set for the Manhattan kickoff now, 14-0 with 3:08 left in this first quarter. Alec McEwen back deep for the Salthawks awaiting the Snowden kickoff.
Great start to this football game by the Manhattan Indians, taking advantage of that muffed punt to score a second touchdown in that first quarter.
Another short kick and another fair catch. This one at the 30. Going to be about the 32-yard line, I believe, is where they're going to mark it. Yep, 1st and 10.
All right, let's see now.
You kind of wonder, are they scared of McEwen? I mean, because they're not even attempting to kick it deep at all.
It's a smart move, though, because what Manhattan's doing is pretty much eliminating the opportunity for any kind of return.
That's true. So Chambers back under center, and a handoff met behind the line of scrimmage. Delval.
Well, that was an impressive defensive surge by that Manhattan Indian team.
A loss of 2 will bring up a 2nd and 12.
Tice Hoover was one of the defensive players in on that tackle. Tice Hoover already has an offer from Butler Community College in his hip pocket. He'll definitely play in college.
So 2nd down and 12. Chambers again under center. You almost never see the Salthawks in a shotgun formation. That's Cantu with a handoff right up the middle. Picking up about 4. Brings up a 3rd down and 8. Ball up to the 34-yard line of the Salthawks.
That defensive line, pretty impressive. As a matter of fact, the entire defensive unit of the Manhattan Indians, they've been impressive all season long. It's a tough challenge for those Hutchinson Salthawks to open some holes.
Kinzer Newquist wide to the right. You've got McEwen in a slot here on the right side. And a little short pass to Delval off the left end. Gets across the 50, knocked out of bounds by Jacob Hershey.
Well-designed play. A little bit of a screen pass type look.
And they had it overloaded onto this right side with McEwen and Kinzer both over here, and then they threw it to the left side with Delval coming out of the backfield.
That's right. Well-designed play, and the Salthawks executed it very well.
Got it across the 50 to the 48-yard line where they'll have it 1st and 10 now.
Hershey did a nice job to chase down Duvall and make the tackle. Otherwise, it could have gone the distance.
Hogan wide right. Delval the carry just off the left side of center, picking up about 3 yards. And that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7. So good surge by the left side of the offensive line.
It was, and then Jeremiah Stacchio came up from his linebacker position and pretty much made sure that the play made no further progress. Chandler Marks again in on that play. He made a reception earlier in this game, and he's primarily a starter on defense, but he does a lot of good things on the offensive side for Manhattan as well.
Jalen Barlow, the carry across the 45 down to the 42-yard line.
Jalen Barlow playing with a broken hand. He did a good job of wrapping up that football with both arms that time.
Well, when you've only got one hand, you've got to do whatever you can to keep a hold of it.
Jalen's a good player. He's one of the faster Salthawks. Does a good job with lead blocking as well.
So again, a single wide out here to the right side with Hogan out here to the left. Jalen Barlow will go into the slot position.
Overloaded to the right side.
Chambers back to pass. And just out of the reach of Alec McEwen.
Had he caught the ball, it would have been no gain because the Manhattan Indians had it pretty well covered.
So we got a 4th down now. Now what does Coach Vernon do? 4th and 4.
Well, definitely have to go for it. The last time Hutchinson punted, it went for -1 yard, so there's really no reason not to go for it.
Keeping the offense in there, Dallas Chambers, and also Delval. Isaiah Delval will be at the fullback position. Hogan here to the right. McEwen goes in motion. He takes the pitch. Going around the right end, stiff arm one player, gets across the 40. It's going to be close to the 1st down. Very, very close. He may have gotten it.
It's close. It all depends on where the official marks it. Is it his left foot or his right foot? You don't see the chains come out for measurements very often anymore because on artificial fields, all the lines are perfectly straight.
But guess what? They're going to do it.
He has to be a little bit beyond the 38 of Manhattan to get the first down, and my gosh, that ball is close to it.
So they're going to bring the chains all the way across the field, and we'll find out here shortly.
Maybe Joe has a better shot of it than we do. All the Manhattan players on the sideline are kind of obstructing our view.
That is so close I can't even see from down here, so we'll have to let the chains do the talking.
Joe's comments on the sideline brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit Company, just west of 30th and Plum on 30th Street. And they did not make it.
Just inches short.
Also, Papa John's Pizza bringing you Joe Blake's sideline reports, so just short. So the Indians will take over on downs.
It was still a valiant attempt by McEwen and the Salt Hawk offense, and it was the smart move to go ahead and
I think it puts that into the Indians' mind that, hey, we may be going for it. They may be going for it.
That's right.
So we got to be ready for it. So 1st and 10 for the Indians. Aschenbrenner still in at quarterback in the shotgun. B.J. Young to his right side. Austin Parker wide left here. I can't see who's over on the other side. But Young takes the handoff, gets across the middle, and he's in open field. Down to the 30, the 20, and nobody's going to catch him.
That's 62 yards.
B.J. Young with 8.5 seconds left in this first quarter.
B.J. Young, 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. One of 44 yards, one of 6 yards, and that one went for 62 yards.
And, of course, B.J. leading the team in rushing, as we said, 127.8 yards a game. And now Snowden on to attempt the extra point.
And let's be honest, if Hutchinson had punted on 4th down, B.J. Young would have made an 80-yard touchdown.
And the kick from Snowden is up, and it is good. 8.5 seconds left here in this first quarter. It's Manhattan 21, and the Salt Hawks 0 back with the Manhattan kickoff after this.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salt Hawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
And we're back at the Lou Lane Field, Bishop Stadium in Manhattan for tonight's playoff action between the Salt Hawks and the Manhattan Indians. 8.5 seconds left in this first quarter. It's a 21-0 lead by the Indians, and they have yet to kick it deep. And all the Salt Hawks have been able to do is fair catch it and take over right there.
That pooch kick has become very popular throughout football because there's very little risk to it.
Right. So here we go, Snowden. Alec McEwen back deep. We'll see if he gets a chance to handle it. Well, he does this time. If it's bouncing, it's a hot ball. He's got to get it. Oh.
Once it goes into the end zone,
that's right,
it doesn't matter.
Right. I forgot we're high school.
High school football.
I forgot. We're high school. So even on a muffed,
that's right.
Muffed kick.
In high school, anytime a kick crosses the plane of the goal line, for safety reasons, it's just a dead play and a touchback.
So 1st and 10, the 20-yard line is where the Salt Hawks will start. Possibly the last play of this first quarter. Chambers still in at quarterback. Isaiah Del Val, the fullback. You got Alec McEwen split wide to right. Del Val will take the pitch around the right end. And he gets out to the 25-yard line, 20.
Jalen Barlow and Alec McEwen threw some tremendous lead blocks. They actually got some flatbacks on that particular play. And that does run out the first quarter.
Brings it close to the first quarter. Our score, Manhattan 21 and the Salt Hawks 0. We'll be back with the second play in the second quarter here in 1 minute on the Salt Hawks Sports Radio Network.
Big texters, heavy data users, helicopter moms. Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
And we start the second quarter here with the 2nd down and 5 for the Salt Hawks from the 25-yard line. Chambers with a handoff to Del Valle. He gets around the right side. Pickup of maybe 2, maybe 3 yards.
In that first quarter, Manhattan racked up 141 yards rushing on just 12 carries compared to 32 yards rushing for Hutchinson on 9 carries. Total yards, Manhattan Indians 153, Hutchinson 50. That muffed punt gave a short field to Manhattan on 1 series, and on the other 2 series, long runs by B.J. Young.
3rd down, and we'll call it 2. Ball is at the 28-yard line. Chambers barking out the signals. Barlow goes in motion. We get a flag to stop the play, so
that'll be a false start.
Again, this Salt Hawk offense not really designed to absorb penalty yardage walk-offs, so you kind of hate to see that happen if you're a Hutchinson Salt Hawk fan. Turns it into a 3rd and 7 instead of a 3rd and 2. Excuse me.
Yeah, 3rd and 7.
Right.
So we'll see what the Salt Hawks can muster up here on this 3rd down play. Just underway here in the second quarter. McEwen in motion. He comes back, takes the handoff right up the gut, gets back to the 25-yard line. So it'll bring up a 4th down and about 5.
Another good job by that Manhattan Indian defense, because that draw play to the L slot, the L goes in motion. It looks like it's going to be a fullback dive or a pass, and the next thing you know, they're handing it off for a draw play to Alec McEwen.
Nolan Cunningham back deep to punt for the Salt Hawks.
Nolan Cunningham, the sophomore. Good young man.
And a little bit better punt than last time, but not a whole lot.
I'm sure what Coach Mike Vernon will say, pick up the first down and it becomes a non-issue.
Exactly. So a short field again for the Indians as they'll take over 1st and 10 at the Salt Hawk 35-yard line. Just 35 yards to go into the end zone. Lorenzo Wilhoit split wide to the right. We got a couple of receivers on the far side. Back to pass, and his pass is complete.
Wow.
Complete to Tyler Higgins.
He stretched at the end to get it across the goal line.
Tyler Higgins, the pass reception right across the middle, but behind the Salt Hawk secondary to go into the end zone for the touchdown with 10:06 left in this first half. Snowden to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. It's 10:06 left here in this first half. And the Indians have jumped out to a 28-0 lead over the Hutchinson High Salt Hawks. And we'll be back with the Manhattan kickoff right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School on Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
So Alex McEwen going back deep before the Salt Hawks again here. Lou Lane Field at Bishop Stadium, home of the Manhattan Indians.
We do want to pass on some information that there was some confusion about. Tomorrow night, the Hutchinson Community College women's basketball team does play in the sports arena, 7 o'clock tip-off when the Washburn JV comes to Hutchinson.
So, yeah, make note of that to watch those Blue Dragon women, which are picked as second in the conference by the coaches.
10th in the nation preseason.
Snowden kickoff. Low line drive kick. And that's going to bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So the Salt Hawks will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
We have a full day of sports tomorrow, Randy.
Wow, that is, yeah. Full day of sports. You and I will be both heading down, joining Glenn Grunwald down in Garden City for the Blue Dragon game against Garden City.
It's a big one.
Could determine the championship, the conference championship.
That's right. It's a big one.
And then in the evening, or actually late afternoon, immediately following that game, on Country 102.9 anyway, will be the Blue Dragons taking on Midland in basketball down at the Seward County tournament.
Darren Dunn will have the call on that game.
And we'll join that one in progress. That will be in entirety on BW Radio. And so you can check that out at 1450 AM and 98.5 FM for the Blue Dragon basketball game from Liberal. And then the football game from Garden City on Country 102.9.
Looking forward to the trip with you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get to see Glenn.
Yeah. Who? Oh.
Get to see those Blue Dragon football players going against the Garden City Broncbusters.
So we got a 2nd down and 6 here for the Salt Hawks. The handoff to Del Val. Nope, check that. That's Cantu. Damon Cantu with the carry. Better pickup of about 3. So it brings up a 3rd down and 3 now for the Salt Hawks. Good hard running by Cantu.
That football game tomorrow, that's one of the challenges on the path to what could be an appearance in the national championship game for the Hutchinson Blue Dragons.
All they got to do is take care of business, and it starts tomorrow. With 2 more games left, tomorrow and next Saturday at Iowa Central. And a pitch out to the left side to McEwen. Oh, he loses one tackler, gets across the 35, almost loses the ball. It looks like maybe a Salt Hawk recovered it.
If the Salt Hawks covered it, it's probably coming back because there was a hold on the edge as McEwen turned the corner.
Yep, there was. Hutch did make the recovery. And holding is the call against the Salt Hawks, just like you said, Dan.
Good job by Chase Kepler to get downfield from his offensive lineman position and cover the fumble, because even though the play is coming back due to a penalty, Chase Kepler covered that fumble, or it would have been Manhattan ball on approximately the Hutchinson 35-yard line. Good hustle by Chase Kepler.
But instead of a 1st down now, it's 3rd down. And looks like about 9. So that penalty taking place from point of infraction.
That's right. Tough situation for Hutchinson to pick up 9 yards on 3rd down.
Although they did that last play. You see Barlow in motion. Chambers going back, and he's throwing it to where nobody is at.
Well, that was another example of that excellent defensive Tice Hoover 6'4", 215-pound linebacker getting deep into the backfield to pressure the quarterback.
Oh, there was a penalty. Are they going to say grounding? I thought he was out of the pocket, and he threw it past the line of scrimmage.
Sure, that's what Coach Mike Vernon is arguing. You know, it's one of those. It's going to result in a 4th down either way, but my gosh, that moves it way back.
What did you see, Joe?
Yeah, I thought he was outside of the tackle box also, but either way, it's 4th down, though, and the Salthawks will punt.
Not 100% sure whether that rule applies in high school or not.
Well,
apparently the officials don't think it does.
But it should. And we'll see if the punting woes continue, if he can unleash one here. He needs to.
Are we back to Villarreal, or is that Cunningham again?
Looks like Cunningham. Another low line drive kick, but a good bounce. Picked up.
Of all people.
By Young.
That's probably the last person that you want to kick it to if you could avoid it, because he is amassing a whole bunch of yards.
And he returns it to the 20-yard line, where the Indians will take over 1st and 10. So 20 yards to go for another score for the Indians. 8:08 left to go here in this first half. Aschenbrenner going under center now. Play action pass. Going deep, intended for Lorenzo Wilhoit, is overthrown.
Pretty good coverage in that secondary by Maddox Hennahaw and Devin Hackney.
Well, ask any sports enthusiast what fall means in Kansas, and they'll tell you football, cross-country, volleyball, soccer, and much more. The best in entertainment, sportsmanship, and community involvement will unfold during the next few months. Activities give fans the opportunity to show how much pride they have in our youth and to talk about their accomplishments. Support for your schools, student body, faculty, and administration. A public service message from the Kansas State High School Activities Association and KWBW Radio in Hutchinson. Aschenbrenner with the quarterback keeper getting down to the 11-yard line. And a hold against the Indians. So that'll back them up 10 yards. So instead of 3rd and 1, it's now 2nd and 18.
Well, another opportunity for that Salthawk defense to lock down Manhattan and prevent them from getting a score.
Aschenbrenner now in shotgun formation. Option play. Oh, he is met by Jack Hauber in a big way right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a couple yards.
Good play by the linebacker, Jack Hauber. Always like to see Jack Hauber making plays because he does so many things right throughout the entire year in the weight room and in the off season. Like to see it pay off in the games.
One of those tough defensive linebackers that the Salthawks have from year to year. And it seems like he's been there for years.
And he's only a junior.
Aschenbrenner from the shotgun. He's going to keep it to the quarterback draw. Hauber's going to get to him.
Oh, gosh, it looked like he might break that one, but Hauber just got a piece of his jersey. Kind of like when you grab somebody's jersey by your fingers, and he slowed him down enough to get the play stopped.
Oh, they got him stopped even after the good field position that they started with. 4th down and 12 as Snowden comes in to attempt a field goal.
Snowden, another one of those football players who was a soccer player, now is on the football team. And he's making contributions to this Manhattan Indian football program.
Looks like they're going to spot it at the 29-yard line. 39-yard field goal attempt. And the kick is up and just short.
Had it on line.
It was on line, but it was just short. So the Salthawks will take over. They held for a good 3 downs. Helped by a penalty, of course, but a good job by the Salthawk defense. Now the offense needs to come on and do something as well as they take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. So we'll see what the offense can do now against this very tough Indian defense. Chambers goes back under center. Del Val in at the fullback position. Barlow and McEwen at the wings. Chambers going to keep it around just off the right tackle. And he's going to pick up 2 to bring up a 2nd down and 8. That flex bone offense that the Salthawks run, that they've been running for years, starting with many years ago with Coach Dreiling.
Yeah, years ago, Hutchinson was one of the few high schools running that offense in Kansas, but when you win 7 state championships, a few other teams start running it too.
But the Salthawks still running that under Coach Vernon. Chambers keeping the ball this time, but not getting much of anything on the left side.
Chambers' helmet coming off on the play. He'll have to get it back up in for this 3rd down.
Either the Salthawks will have to take a timeout, or we'll see the freshman Noah Kokar come in to take a snap.
Looks like they're going to roll with Kokar here.
Or it is possible for McEwen to move over to quarterback too.
And just run a wildcat? Or
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They've done that earlier in the year, but we haven't seen it since week 2 or 3. Kokar has come into the game, and he is an exciting, electrifying young man.
3rd and 8 for the Salthawks.
Just a freshman. What a brilliant future. I've said it before, when he runs the ball, he reminds me of Devion Dinwiddie.
Ooh, that's some high praise. And the handoff going to McEwen. And he gets across the 25 to the 26.
Ran the counter play to McEwen. Probably going to go ahead and go for it on 4th down, don't you think?
4th and 5. Well, with the punting situation as it has been, you're not out anything.
Why not?
I hate to say that about the punting game, but it is what it is. And we got a timeout. Salthawks calling timeout with 4:26 to go in this first half. Our score 28-0 with the Indians on top. Back after this on the Salthawk Radio Sports Network.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're first for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started, or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Blue Lane Field, Bishop Stadium, Manhattan, Kansas is where we are at for tonight's playoff game between the Salthawks and the Indians of Manhattan. 4:26 left here in this first half, with Manhattan on top 28-0, although the Salthawk defense did dig in and hold them to a missed field goal attempt.
That's right. We're at Seco Park, and it's a beautiful venue here for football. Lou Lane was an outstanding Manhattan High School coach in the 1980s. I believe he won 3 state championships with Manhattan High School. And it's Bishop Stadium in Seco Park.
Seco Park.
In Manhappy, Kansas. Manhappiness, Kansas.
And the handoff to Del Val. Finds a hole around the left side and gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line. So big run by Del Val. Brings up a first down for the Salthawks.
That is a 4th down conversion by Hutchinson. And he picked it up with plenty of yards to spare.
He came through that hole very hard and very fast. And there's just no stopping him until about 10 yards later. So 1st and 10, 36-yard line. That's where the Salthawks are at right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Del Val again, the carrier right off right tackle.
Number 45.
Cantu was the carrier that time.
Damian Ilalio with the charge, and Tice Hoover also. Those are 2 outstanding football players combining to make a stop.
Got a yard on the play, so bring up a 2nd down and 9. 3:31, clock running here in the second quarter.
Good crowd on hand tonight for this district playoff action.
Good crowd from Hutchinson made it up to Manhattan. Chambers with a screen pass out to McEwen on the right side. The old bubble screen.
That one probably went as a lateral. It looked to me like it went a little bit backwards possibly, but a good thing that McEwen caught it.
Yeah, could you tell, Joe, down there, was it a lateral or was it a forward pass?
Yeah, I believe it was a lateral.
I don't think it's designed to be that way, but that's the way it worked out.
Joe Blake's comments on the sideline brought to you by Brown's Shoe Fit Company at 410 East 30th in Hutchinson, and Papa John's Pizza, 501 East 17th, also in Hutchinson. Again, we want to welcome everybody to our broadcast, all the folks in Hutchinson that are watching the stream and listening to the stream, and also the folks in Manhattan here that are getting our stream as well.
And all around the world.
All around the world, yeah.
Got some messages from one of our best fans in Toronto, Canada, is listening in. Always glad to have him with us.
So we have a timeout with 2:31 left here in this first half. We'll take it as well. We'll be back after this on the Salt Talk Sports Radio Network.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salt Hawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
We're back at Lou Lane Field at Bishop Stadium in Manhattan. Beautiful night for football. Very little wind, and what little there is coming out of the north, which the Salt Hawks are going into. But last check, it was like 6 miles an hour. It's probably died down a little bit more. 2:31 left in this first half. It's 3rd and 9 for the Salt Hawks. Chambers gets under center. McEwen in the motion, and he'll take the pitch around the left end, gets a good block on the corner, and then dodges a few extra players, breaks a tackle. He's in the open down to the 30. And he breaks another tackle. He gets in for the score.
62 yards.
62 yards for Alec McEwen. 2:16 left. What a great run, and a lot of that McEwen did on his own.
Started off very good. Everybody on Hutchinson's offensive team sprinted to the left to make blocks for that rocket toss to the left, and Alec McEwen evaded several would-be tacklers, kept his balance, and ran pretty fast.
And a great block on the corner to get him around that end. We've got a penalty against
encroachment against the defense.
On the extra point.
Might want to go for 2 now. Puts it pretty close to the goal line.
Carter Boo on to attempt the extra point. Maybe. We'll see what happens, what Coach Vernon has to say here.
That's a pretty play when it's run that way, and you see that wave of jerseys all running hard around the end.
And the kick by Boo is good. It's 2:16 left here in this first half. The Salt Hawks finally get on the board, but they're still down 28-7. We'll be back with the Salt Hawk kickoff right after this.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
2:16 here in the first half, and a big 62-yard run by Alec McEwen gets the Salt Hawks on the scoreboard. It's 28-7 as we wait the Salt Hawk kickoff by Carter Boo. The penalty on the extra point will be assessed on the kickoff here, so he'll be Carter Boo will be kicking off from the 45 instead of the 40-yard line.
You know, another trademark of Salt Hawk football during the last 4 or 5 or 6 years has been lots of onside kick attempts.
Well, yeah.
You never know. Might see it here.
And they do this stampede, as you call it, as a fake for the. But I've seen them do an onside kick out of it. but not this time.
Still could be an onside kick, though.
Yeah.
Or he might pooch it.
And that run by McEwen, we were talking while we were taking the timeout, it kind of reminded me of the USC student body left and student body right.
That's an excellent way to say it.
They did try an outside kick. And it's still loose. It's recovered.
Very good attempt.
That was a great attempt. They just about competed. Talik Houston for the recovery for the Indians.
Talik Houston, a sophomore for the Manhattan Indians. That was not an easy ball to cover the way it was bouncing all kinds of crazy directions.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line of the Indians. Eschenbrenner in the shotgun still. They throw the bubble screen out here to Lorenzo Wilhoit, and he's tackled immediately. A loss maybe on the play. It looks like we got a loss of 1.
That was a tremendous play coming up from his defensive back position, Emilio Martinez, who has missed several games due to injury. He's back tonight. What a good play that's on.
Great play. It's a 1-yard loss. It'll be 2nd down and 11 now. Are we going to see a little bit of change of momentum here? Aschenbrenner with the quarterback keeper on the option, gets around the end, gets across, a flag on the play, right at the end of the play.
He picked up the 1st down, but we'll have to wait to see what the penalty is.
Did you see, Joe? Was that face mask? Nope, holding. Holding against the Indians, but it happened at the 1st down marker, so they actually gain a yard on the penalty.
Joe's working on that microphone down there. He's trying to get the switch on. Might have to change a battery.
So we'll call it 2nd down and 10 now.
Joe, the sideline reporter, working on his equipment.
Wilhoit split wide to the right here. Dominique Mesa wide left. And the keeper by Aschenbrenner around the right end. Eludes one tackler, but brought down by Taven Smith with the tackle. But a big gain out to the Salthawk 38-yard line. No huddle with 1:17 left to go in this 2nd quarter. Aschenbrenner back to pass and short hops it as Austin Parker, but incomplete pass will bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Well, we're starting to hear Joe's microphone.
It's a little battery issue. We're good now.
Okay.
You look recharged.
2nd and 10. Aschenbrenner in the shotgun. Young to his right. Austin Parker, or check that, Lorenzo Wilhoit wide right. And the handoff to Young. He gets across the 35, down to the 34-yard line, a pickup of 4. And timeout called by the Indians. It's going to be a 3rd down and 6 after the timeout. And we'll take it along with them here. 59 and a half seconds left in this 1st half. With our score, Manhattan 28, the Salthawks 7. And we'll be back right after this.
Come gobble up the savings at Pools Plus this November. All in-stock grills are $100 off. Save 25% on CR Plastics outdoor furniture. What a perfect time to warm up for the holidays with up to $2,000 savings on all in-stock spas and $5,000 savings on all in-stock swim spas. Pools Plus is feeling thankful all November long. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus this holiday season. 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
59 and a half seconds left to go here in this 1st half. 28-7 with the Indians on top. They have the ball, 3rd down, and we'll call it a long 5, maybe a short 6, depending on how you want to look at it. But they've got to get to the 28-yard line of the Salthawks to get a 1st down. The Indians call timeout. What do they come out with here on this 3rd down play? Aschenbrenner with a great arm. And he's back to pass. And a short pass over here to Mason Reed.
Salthawks kept him in bounds.
Going to be close. The clock continues to run. And they do get the first down, though. They got down to the 27. They need to get to the 28.
Just momentarily stopped the clock to reset the chains, and now it's running again.
I don't know that they do in high school, do they? Aschenbrenner back to pass. Another short pass over here to Will Hoyt. He does get out of bounds to stop the clock at the 20-yard line, so a pickup of only, actually a pickup of 8. Make that 7. So it'll bring up a second down and 3.
Another test for that Salthawk defense. Would like to go into the locker room without any more damage inflicted by this Manhattan Indian offense.
And, of course, the Salthawks will get the opening kickoff to start the second half. So if they can hold them here, be very beneficial for him. Aschenbrenner back to throw again. Another short pass completes to Mason Reed. He does get out of bounds.
That was an impressive play by Mason Reed. It was not an easy catch. He had to jump up for it while he was running full speed, and then he had to fight 2 or 3 tacklers to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. 30.7 seconds left here in this first half. Play coming in from the sidelines. Austin Parker relaying that to Aschenbrenner.
Manhattan still has 2 timeouts, so they can run the ball if they want to.
Okay. Aschenbrenner with the short flip out to V.J. Young. Incomplete.
He might have scored had he caught that ball because he had some open field out there in the flat.
So, second down and 10. Ball is at the 13-yard line. Salthawk defense trying to stiffen up and hold them to at least nothing more than a field goal. Again, 27.4 seconds left here in this first half. Play brought in by Joe Hall.
Winner of this game likely goes to Lawrence Free State 1 week from tonight.
Aschenbrenner in the shotgun. He's going to keep it on an option play. He's going to keep it around the left end. Gets down across the 10 to the 7-yard line.
David Waymeyer covered a lot of ground from his defensive lineman position to make that tackle.
And a timeout called by the Indians. They've got 1 left. 21.6 seconds left in this first half. We'll take the timeout as well. Back with the third down play from the Indians right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
It's third down and 4 for the Indians. The ball is resting at the 7-yard line. 21.6 seconds left in this first half as the Indians trot the offense back onto the field. Aschenbrenner still in the shotgun.
Everybody on the right side of the formation this time.
Aschenbrenner with the option play keeps it off the right tackle. Gets down to about the 2-yard line. Should have the first down. He does. But the clock still runs. 16.5 seconds. Aschenbrenner spikes the ball down to stop the clock with 12.
The Salthawks actually called a timeout before they could snap the ball. So no time will.
Hutchinson called that timeout?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for that information, Joe. The Sideline Report's brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit Company in Hutchinson at 410 East 30th and Papa John's Pizza at 501 East 17th in Hutchinson. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back with another first down play for the Indians. 1st and goal after this.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salthawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
And we're back. 15 seconds left to go in the first half. Salthawks need to dig in. First and goal now for the Indians. Salthawks called that timeout. And they've still got 2, it looks like. Nope, they're out of timeouts, I'm sorry.
Called that timeout to pretty much regroup defensively and try to get a stop.
Aschenbrenner in the shotgun by himself.
New formation way out wide on the right side with the receivers stacked.
Young in motion. Aschenbrenner going to keep it off the left tackle. He's in for the score.
Stacks the 2 receivers way out by the right sideline just to bring some defenders away from where the play was really designed to go.
So with 11.7 seconds left to go here in this first half, Aschenbrenner with a 2-yard carry for a touchdown. And the extra point coming up here by Snowden.
66-yard drive in just a little bit more than 2 minutes.
And the extra point attempt is up, and it is good. So with 11.7 to go here in this second quarter, Manhattan Indians got a touchdown back. It's now 35-7. We'll be back with the Indian kickoff right after this.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Well, 11.7 seconds to go here in this first half. Again, the Indians just getting into the end zone here from 2 yards out. Aschenbrenner with the quarterback keeper as we set for the Indian kickoff by Snowden and Alec McEwen, again, back deep. And the last few kicks that Snowden has done have gone into the end zone.
Salthawks just don't want to do anything. If they don't get a huge return here, they just don't want to make any mistakes prior to the half.
Yeah, now would be a bad time to give up possession. So, they tried an onside kick, and they may have gotten it. Oh, but still loose.
It's still rolling.
Who's got it? Can you see who's got it down there, Joe?
Manhattan got it.
Did they?
Oh, no. It looks like Hutchinson came back and got it.
All right.
Stole it from
That was a strange play. Who would have expected? I guess you got expected.
Just a safe play to prevent a run back, and it almost turned into an extra possession for Manhattan deep in Salthawk territory.
6.2 seconds. Salthawks 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line.
Yeah, the clock operator had a heck of a challenge on that one, trying to figure out, did anybody touch it? Should I start the clock? Should I not start it? What's going on out there?
And 5 seconds went off the clock. Inside handoff to Hogan around the right end, and nothing there. And that's going to bring a close to this first half. So, after 2 quarters of play, the Indians 35 and the Salthawks 7. And Salthawks will, like we said, will get the kickoff to start the second half. We'll be back with our Medicine Shop capsule right after this 2-minute timeout.
Big texters, heavy data users, helicopter moms, Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
In need of a business loan? With The First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, The First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're first for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Back here at halftime with our score, Manhattan 35, Hutchinson 7, first round of playoff action in high school football. It's time now for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule. And brought to you by the Medicine Shop, caring beyond prescriptions at the Medicine Shop, 14th and Main in Hutchinson. Rick says that now, of course, is the time to get in and get your flu vaccinations. If you're over 65, you may need new, stronger flu vaccine. And that is now available at the Medicine Shop. Just ask Rick, Brent, Grant, or Lacey about which one is right for you. Don't forget about their local home delivery as well. It's the Medicine Shop, the Little White Castle at 14th and Main. Dan?
It was a Manhattan Indian football team that amassed 290 yards total offense in that first half on 28 plays. The Hutchinson Salthawks ran 24 plays for 138 yards. So 290 yards to 138. It didn't take long for the Manhattan Indians to strike. 44-yard touchdown run by B.J. Young with 9:27 to go in the first quarter. Put the Indians up 7-0. Then another B.J. Young run of 6 yards. After the Salthawk defense got a 4-and-out stop, Manhattan punted, but Hutchinson muffed the punt. Manhattan recovered the ball on the Hutchinson 16-yard line, and a few plays later, B.J. Young carried it in from 6 yards for a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. And then one more touchdown strike by B.J. Young. This one a 62-yard scamper with only 8 seconds to play in the first quarter. Put Manhattan up 21-0. At the beginning of the second quarter, a 35-yard touchdown strike from Ashenbrenner to Higgins for Manhattan put the Indians ahead 28-0. But the Hutchinson Salthawks did not give up. They continued to compete. A 62-yard touchdown run with 6:14 to go in the second quarter by Alec McEwen on, as you call it, Randy, the student body left.
Which by the way, was set up by a strong defensive stand by the Salthawks that led to a missed field goal.
That's absolutely correct. Good point. So the Salthawks fought back to 28-7, but then with just 11 seconds remaining in the first half, the Manhattan Indians, Ashenbrenner scored on a 2-yard touchdown run, and that's where we are right now. Manhattan 35, Hutchinson 7.
So what do you think the Salthawks need to do to come out the second half?
Have some fun.
I think so. Have some fun. But I almost thought that momentum might have switched with that defensive stand and the touchdown. But no, they let it slide away from them again.
You definitely want to see a team that will continue to compete regardless of the scoreboard. Pretend it's 0-0. Go out and have some fun and compete.
And your in-game capsule brought to you by the Medicine Shop, that Little White Castle at 14th and Main. It's the Medicine Shop. Medicare Part D insurance consultation to save on your supplemental insurance. Remember, it's the Little White Castle, 14th and Main. It's the Medicine Shop. We'll be back with our 3:08 activity report right after this 2-minute timeout.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Come gobble up the savings at Pools Plus this November. All in-stock grills are $100 off. Save 25% on CR Plastics outdoor furniture. What a perfect time to warm up for the holidays with up to $2,000 savings on all in-stock spas and $5,000 savings on all in-stock swim spas. Pools Plus is feeling thankful all November long. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus this holiday season. 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus. Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, the Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
Well, we're at halftime here with the score 35-7. The Manhattan Indians on top of the Hutchinson High Salt Hawks. It's time now for the USD 308 Activity Report, brought to you by Culligan Water of Hutchinson, Lyons, and Great Bend. Culligan of Hutchinson, 101 West Avenue E in Hutchinson. Rethink how your home drinks. Culligan Water Treatment Systems changes how Culligan Water Treatment Systems changes everything from laundry and showering to drinking and cooking. Give Culligan of Hutchinson a call at 620-312-3411. And now with your Culligan Water USD 308 Activity Report, Hutch High Junior Sarah Peterson.
Hey Salt Hawk fans, here's your Hutch High Activity Report for next week. On Saturday, November 2nd, the Hutch High Cross Country team will be competing at Lawrence at the Rimrock Farm for the 6A State Cross Country Championship. On Monday, November 4th, the Cross Country Chain Banquet will be held in the cafeteria beginning at 6:30 p.m. On Tuesday, November 5th, the girls' tennis team banquet will begin at 6 p.m. in the cafeteria. The girls' golf will follow their team banquet in the cafeteria at 7 p.m. that same night. On Wednesday, November 6th, the Salt Hawk Booster Club will meet in the cafeteria at 6:30 p.m. for their monthly meeting. And on Friday, if Salt Hawk football wins, we will be on the road for the second round of playoffs, as site to be determined. That's your USD 308 activity report for next week.
And that's your Culligan of Hutchinson USD 308 activity report for this week. Remember, give Culligan a call at 620-312-3411. And the score again here at halftime, 35-7, with the Indians on top. We'll be back with Coach Knack and his special guest at halftime right after this 1-minute timeout.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salt Hawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salt Hawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salt Hawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
And at halftime, Manhattan with the 35-7 lead over the Salt Hawks, and Coach Knack is joining us now again with your special guest.
My special guest happens to be someone we don't have to move the microphone for at all, because I thought it would be interesting to hear a little bit about Randy McKay. Randy McKay is an on-air personality that's pretty famous throughout Kansas, but we don't hear him do play-by-play for Hutchinson Salt Hawk football very often. Randy,
which is actually way back when I got back into radio. I was out for a little bit after I started, but that's what I wanted to do, was get into sports broadcasting.
When did you decide?
I don't want to give away my age, but it was in the early 80s.
And you were still in high school or out of high school?
No, I was out of high school. I was done with college at the time too, because I got my first job while I was in college, my first radio job while I was in college, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I could pay to get an education on what I want to do, or I can do what I want to do and get paid for that education. So, kind of a no-brainer.
Well, and I think you first probably started thinking about broadcasting even when you were in high school, though.
It was. It all started back when I was a sophomore in high school. And English class, sophomore English class, we had to write a research paper on our careers. I'm a sophomore in high school. I have no idea what I want to do. So anyway, I was down doing research on what I wanted to do my research on. I came across radio and TV broadcasting, and that kind of piqued my interest. I listened to the radio all the time, and it sounded like everybody that was on the radio was having a good time. I enjoyed myself too, and happened to be the class clown, and they were funny on the radio, and that's just one thing I've never been able to possess was the funniness on the radio. But that's what got me started, and it stuck with me ever since.
And where did you go to high school?
Went to high school at Pretty Prairie, just south of Hutchinson, about 20 minutes, and was born and raised in Pretty Prairie. Grew up there, played football, track, basketball for the Pretty Prairie Bulldogs in my high school years. Went on to a couple of years, actually a year and a half of college at Bethel in North Newton.
A true Kansan.
Yep, it's in the blood.
Sometimes you get out and get on a motorcycle a little bit that's got that third wheel.
Yeah, you've got to get the trike out every now and then too. But yeah, and this is something I've always wanted to do. Never had the opportunity. There were a couple of places I was at where I did get limited exposure to play-by-play broadcasting, but for the most part, I've been pretty much a jock, and that's kind of where it's been. And I'm enjoying this now. I've been starting to the last couple of years, been getting into a little bit more stuff too. Doing the sideline reports for the Blue Dragons. Also, probably will be helping out with the national. The streaming of the National Volleyball Tournament that's coming up here at the end of the month.
And that'll be at the Hutchinson Sports Arena. Hutchinson gets to host that event again this year. That's fantastic. And what do you normally do during the day?
I am on the air. I'm on from 3 to 7 every Monday through Saturday. And
what station?
At Country 102.9 KHUT. And let's see, also the program director for KHUT, and I'm just enjoying myself.
Some of the folks might not realize it's actually a family of radio stations in Hutchinson and beyond.
Yeah.
Eagle Communications.
Eagle has technically four stations in Hutch, which include KHMY, My 93.1, which is adult contemporary, hot adult contemporary.
Darren Dunn does a tremendous job on that station. Yeah. He does a lot of broadcasting for Blue Dragon Sports and does the PA announcing for Blue Dragon football and Blue Dragon basketball.
That's right. And then, of course, the KWBW at 1450 AM, 98.5 FM on the dials. And then, of course, we've got our company, now the stations in, let's see if I can get this all straightened out, Salina, Hayes, Great Bend, Manhattan, Junction City, St. Joe, North Platte, Nebraska, Chadron, and Alliance, Nebraska. I think that's just about it. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry.
It's an outstanding organization. Mark Trotman and Terry Drewer in charge here in Hutchinson.
Actually, Mark is semi-retired. He works now for corporate. So Terry Drewer is our general manager, our station manager, or what they call market manager now. So he took over for Mark, and Mark does a lot of stuff for corporate on the corporate level with training.
And the booming voice of Glenn Grunwald is the sports director. I like to call him the air traffic controller. He couldn't be in two places at once. He was out at Liberal to broadcast Blue Dragon men's basketball earlier today, and the Blue Dragon men picked up a win, 93-74. Glenn will be doing the play-by-play tomorrow at Garden City for Blue Dragon football, and you and I will both be there.
You'll be doing the color. I'll be providing the sideline reports.
And then Darren Dunn will be doing Blue Dragon men's basketball tomorrow from Liberal by himself at about 4 o'clock or whenever the football game gets finished. And then, if you're available, go to the sports arena tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. The home kickoff season opening game for Blue Dragon women's basketball will be hosting the Washburn University Ichabod JV team. Randy McKay, it's just a pleasure working with you. We had a good road trip. Looking forward to the weekend.
All right, sounds good, and I'm glad to be working with you guys, you and Joe both.
Thank you for everything you do. We'll be back in 2 minutes for the kickoff of the second half.
Big texters, heavy data users, helicopter moms. Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, the Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're First for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's getting ready for the second half of action with the score 35-7 in favor of the Manhattan Indians as the Indians will be kicking off, and that'll be Snowden to kick off. And back deep for the Salt Hawks is Alec McEwen, and we'll see if he can get a chance to return a kick yet. The first 2 or 3 kicks that they've done were just pooch kicks that were fair cop, and the rest of the kicks have gotten into the end zone. So we'll see what happens as we get started here with the Salt Hawks taking possession of the football to begin the second half. It's 35-7, as we mentioned, the score here at the halftime. Thought maybe the Salt Hawks were going to get a little momentum going their way with a big defensive stop and then a long run by McEwen for the touchdown. And the kick gets over Del Val. McEwen will pick it up at the 8-yard line. He'll go around to the right side, get around the end. He's got some room. Makes a spin move and gets caught at the 28-yard line. And a late flag, several late flags.
That's about as high as I've seen a flag thrown.
Those flags were coming from everywhere.
I thought they were coming from the heavens for a moment there.
We'll have to see what transpires out of this.
Joe's going to have his work cut out for him on this one.
I think this will be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Both ways or just against one of the other teams?
I think if it's going to go one way, it'll be against the Salt Hawks.
Okay.
Well, a little bit of frustration.
Joe's comments from the sideline being brought to us by Brown's Shoe Fit Company at 410 East 30th in Hutchinson. And Papa John's Pizza, 501 East 17th in Hutchinson. As the officials continue sorting this whole thing out.
Emotions run high when you compete in football. You know that, Randy, from the days you played. It's a game that you pour everything you can into physically and emotionally, and sometimes your emotions get away from you.
And again, it is an unsportsmanlike conduct call against the Salt Hawks. It'll take it back to the 14-yard line. But it'll be a 1st and 10.
Just gives the Salt Hawks the opportunity to pick up a few more offensive yards before they score on this drive.
Exactly. So here we go with Chambers under center once again. Del Val is the fullback. You got McEwen and Barlow on the wings. The pitch out to McEwen around the left end. Gets around the corner, makes a spin move across the 20 to the 25-yard line, knocked out of bounds by the Indians.
Well executed offensive play on that rocket toss to McEwen. He picked up 62 yards on that play in the second quarter to score a touchdown. McEwen is nearing the 100-yard mark in this game.
And he just picked up about another 14 for a first down.
That puts him very close to 100 yards on only about 6 or 7 carries. That's pretty good effectiveness for McEwen.
So 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line is where the Salt Hawks will have the ball. McEwen in motion again. And the handoff to Cantu. Picks up about 3 yards to the 28-yard line.
As we said early before we went to the halftime break, Randy, Salt Hawks aren't going to quit. This is a team that has invested a lot into the season, and it's an opportunity to just go out and pretend the score is 0-0 and have some fun and play some football.
And that's what the coaches usually say, even at any time, just have fun. If you have fun, things will take care of themselves.
And the best way to have fun, get better.
Yeah. 2nd down, 7 now for the Salt Hawks. And a handoff to Del Val up the middle. He's still pumping away. Takes about 3 Indians to bring him down, being led there by Tice Hoover, one of the Indian captains.
Tice Hoover intends to play in college football. As we've said in the first half, Butler has made an offer to him. He's making some visits to some other schools as well.
Okay. 3rd down and 2. And I think we've seen already from the first half, even now, this is 4-down territory for the Salt Hawks. McEwen in motion. Handoff to Barlow. Off the left tackle. Gets across the 35 to about the 38, 39-yard line. So it's good for a Salt Hawk first down. Good running by Jalen Barlow.
Salt Hawk offense looking pretty good. That offensive line firing off the ball, the running backs blocking for each other, the wide receiver. Yep, and then the ball carrier is going hard.
1st and 10 for the Salt Hawks. Ball at their own 39-yard line. They are moving. They picked up a couple of first downs already here on this drive. Chambers under center. Del Val, the fullback. McEwen in motion. And the pitch to McEwen around the right end. Gets a cut inside. Gets across the 40 to 50. And down to takes about 3 players with him as he gets down to about the 35-yard line of the Indians. Big run by McEwen.
24-yard gain. So now McEwen well over 100 yards on less than 10 carries.
I kind of like, you call it rocket pitch?
Rocket toss.
Rocket toss. I kind of like student body left and right. The old USC Trojan offense. So 1st and 10. The Salt Hawks have gotten into Indian territory. The ball at the 36-yard line. Chambers with the handoff to Del Val. Nothing doing on that right side. So they'll give them no gain.
This is week 9 of the high school football season. This is the first step in the playoffs.
First step in the playoffs.
Everybody has 8 scheduled games, and then you get seeded to play game number 9. And if you win, you get to play the next week. If you lose, your season is over.
And Salt Hawks, if that happens, and whoever it happens to, they can start thinking about basketball.
That's right.
Which, by the way, for the Salt Hawks, it gets underway on the 18th. That's when practice starts.
Our sideline reporter, Joe Blake, a big part of Salt Hawk basketball.
Chambers with a handoff to Del Val. Gets across almost gets down to the 30-yard line off that left tackle.
Number 7, Isaiah Del Val.
So another good gain by the Salt Hawks. It brings up a 3rd down and 4 at the 30-yard line, excuse me.
Wichita North is playing at Derby tonight. Hayesville Campus is playing at undefeated Dodge tonight. Garden City is at Topeka High. Obviously, Hutchinson is here at Manhattan.
3rd and 4. Chambers under center. He's back to pass. Quick release up to McEwen, and he's right at the marker, tackled there.
just a little bit short, possibly.
Joey Meyer, so we'll have to see where they spot it. Can you tell, Joe, does he have a first down?
He's going to be a little bit short here, 4th and 1.
Again, Joe Blake on the sidelines, 4th and 1.
Who's bringing those sideline reports to us?
Joe Blake, yeah. The Brown Shoe Fit. Thank you to Brown Shoe Fit, also to Papa John's Pizza for those sideline reports.
Wichita South is at Lawrence Free State. Winner of this game will take on the winner of that game.
McEwen in motion. 4th and a short one. And Hutch is going to call a timeout.
They just went for the hard count there and going to get Manhattan to jump off sides.
Thank you, Joe. And 7:24 with the score 35-7, but the Salthawks driving is a possibility. We'll be back after this timeout on the Salthawk Radio Sports Network.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, the thrill of a touchdown, the excitement of a successful pass, all combined to remind us that state football championship games are only moments away. Sponsored by the Kansas State High School Activities Association, state championship playoffs will begin October 31st, which they have, and conclude with the final games on November 30th. Attend the games, support your team, and join the crowd during the final weeks of Kansas high school football, all getting underway as of last night. So here we go, 4th and 1 for the Salthawks. Del Val taking the handoff, getting across the 25-yard line. It will be a Salthawk first down.
Good, strong running, a good surge by that offensive line. And the Salthawks convert another 4th down.
Michael Doyle in on the tackle for the Indians. But not before Del Val gets that first down. Del Val checks out of the lineup at this point, so it looks like Cantu will be the fullback.
Rest of the 6A playoff games tonight: Washburn Rural at Lawrence, Wichita Southeast at Junction City, and Wichita East at Wichita West.
Ball at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, Salthawks. Cantu with the handoff right up the middle, gets maybe 2 to the 23-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 for the Salthawks. Big surge by the linebackers of the Indians. 6:37 and running here in this third quarter.
It's a vintage Salthawk football drive.
It is, eating up the clock, but you're making positive gains just about every time.
It's exactly what Hutchinson wanted to do in the first quarter.
Exactly. Here we go. Barlow's in motion. Chambers back to pass.
He's open.
And a pass complete. And touchdown.
Zach Hogan, wasn't it?
Looks like it's Zach Hogan.
Before Chambers could even turn and throw, Vernon was yelling, he's open. We got to get him the ball. So they got it to him, and touchdown Saul.
And it wasn't the prettiest of passes, and it almost didn't get there, but it did. Touchdown, Salthawks.
Hogan was 12 yards beyond the deepest Manhattan defender. So Coach Mike Vernon and Coach Knack were both yelling, he's open. Kick it to him.
Carter Boo on to attempt the extra point. Out of Chambers' hold, kick is up, and kick is good. 6:10 left to go here in this third quarter, with the Salthawks now getting on the board again. With the score, Manhattan 35, Salthawks 14. Back with the Salthawk kickoff after this.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
6:10 in the third quarter, 35-14 your score here. Coach Knack, you said something right before we came back on here that's very appropriate. Manhattan has a very good football team, but the Salthawks have not surrendered.
That's what you like to see in high school football. In most high school football games, one team pretty much surrenders and gives up, and then the score really gets out of hand. But Hutchinson has showed some character by continuing to compete.
So what do you call that, stampede?
The stampede, where they all rush up to the football and then stop. And then they spread out.
Carter Boo kicking off here for the Salthawks. Another onside attempt.
Maybe.
Salthawks get it, but I think they did.
There might have been a touch before the ball went 10 yards.
Were you able to see that, Joe?
Yeah, there's a flag down on the far side of the field for it, and should be the call.
Did the Salthawks actually cover the ball, though?
Yes, they did recover it, but we don't know if it was legal.
Unfortunate. Might have touched the ball just maybe about a yard before it went the full 10.
Ask Oklahoma about that one.
It was a great call, by the way, on the replay anyway. It was a great call on the replay at Manhattan on Saturday.
So the ball will be placed at the Salthawk 49-yard line. Indians 1st and 10. Lorenzo Wilhoit taking the handoff on a sweep around the left end. Pickup of, we'll call it 5. Brings up 2nd down 5 for the Indians.
This year, these Manhattan Indians started the season with a 41-7 win at Olathe Northwest, and then they took a loss in a close game at Topeka High, 32-27. Every game after that point, Manhattan Indians have rolled to victory.
And 2nd and 5, again, the sweep. This time, Will Hoyt taking around the right end.
Good tackle by Taven Smith.
Only gain of about 3, maybe 4. Nope, they're going to give him 3.
For the last 2 years, if you look back to last season and this season, Manhattan has had extremely exciting games against Topeka High and Junction City, and they've blown everybody else out.
I guess in this area that means that's the rivalry of the 3.
Last year, they made it to the semifinals, lost 24-6 at Derby.
3rd and 2. Aschenbrenner with the quarterback keeper up the middle. With a quarterback draw, gets to the Salthawk 35-yard line, a pickup of 6, which will give the Indians a 1st down, 1st and 10, the ball at the Salthawk 35-yard line.
The Hutchinson Salthawks are 2-6, but they lost a heartbreaker to Newton in a game that Hutchinson felt like they had won, and then they lost a tough one to Campus. Part of those 6 losses.
Aschenbrenner with the option, keeping around the left end, a wide open field, nothing to stop him now.
35 yards.
35-yard touchdown by Aschenbrenner around the left end on the option play to bring Manhattan score to 41 with 4:15 left to go here in this third quarter. Nice open field running. There was just nothing in front of him after he made the turn around the left end. So Snowden on to attempt the extra point.
Aschenbrenner.
Are they?
It's the swinging gate.
So C.J. Young, or B.J. Young, trying the 2-point conversion. It is no good.
Hutchinson Salthawks probably will not appreciate that 2-point conversion attempt.
So 4:15 left to go here in the third quarter. Manhattan 41 and the Salthawks 14. Back with the Manhattan kickoff after this.
Come gobble up the savings at Pools Plus this November. All in-stock grills are $100 off. Save 25% on CR Plastics outdoor furniture. What a perfect time to warm up for the holidays with up to $2,000 savings on all in-stock spas and $5,000 savings on all in-stock swim spas. Pools Plus is feeling thankful all November long. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus this holiday season. 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson. Call us at Pools Plus.
Well, a failed two-point conversion by the Manhattan Indians leaves the score at 41-14, 4:15 left to go here in this third quarter. Welcome back to Manhattan. Lou Lane Field, Bishop Stadium is where we're at.
We really haven't talked about Coach Schartz, the head coach of the Manhattan Indians, in his 11th year here. He's 90-22.
Wow.
He was a quarterback at Dodge City High School. Then he went to Washburn. He's in the Washburn University Hall of Fame. He played quarterback at Washburn for a few years. And he's had a lot of success here at Manhattan High School. Joe Schartz.
McEwen back deep for the Salthawks, awaiting the kick from Snowden. McEwen finally able to return one last kickoff, or to start this second half. This kickoff was short. It was taken by Hogan. And Hogan returning the kickoff to, looks like the 28-yard line, 29-yard line. Nope, they're actually going to mark him at the 30. So the Salthawks will take over 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line.
Coach Joe Schartz from a football family. His brother Mike was an assistant coach at Wichita Heights under Coach Wheeler when they were winning state championships, and then he was a head coach at campus in Wichita Southeast. Now he is an assistant coach at Cimarron.
Okay.
Tough guys in that Schartz family.
Chambers under center. Going to keep it around the left tackle. He's got open field. One man to beat. He's down to the 30-yard line. Cuts it back inside, and he's brought down at the 20-yard line. A good run by Dallas Chambers on the quarterback keeper.
49 yards on the gain. That was the option play. Dallas Chambers read it perfectly. He kept it. Had a lot of open field, didn't he?
He sure did. Gets it down to the 21-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 for the Salthawks with 3:50 left to go here in this third quarter. So they're still running hard and running loose.
That's right. Manhattan has a tremendous football team. Hutchinson is not just rolling over and quitting.
So 1st and 10, the 21-yard line. And Manhattan will take a timeout with 3:34 left to go here in this third quarter. So we'll take it along with them. We'll be back. 41-14 is your score. Manhattan on top. Back after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, the Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
3:34 left to go here in this third quarter. It's 41-14. Your score from Manhattan out on top of the Salthawks. And we go down to the sidelines and check in with Joe Blake. What is the feeling around there with the rest of the players? I mean, are the people on the sidelines not giving up as well?
Oh, yeah, they're not giving up. And the mood has actually improved since the first half when we were down 28-0, as it was kind of a dejected mood. Now the mood is a little more positive as we were moving the ball well on offense.
It kind of looks like the Salthawks can play with Manhattan. It's just they got a late start. So we got 1st and 10, the 21-yard line is where the Salthawks will have the ball. And a quick pass out to McEwen on the right side. He gets open around the corner. And there's a flag.
Oh.
He's in for the touchdown, but check the flag.
This is going to be holding, and Coach Vernon clearly does not agree with this call.
What a tough run by Alec McEwen. He was bouncing off people like a pinball.
That was a great job.
Unfortunate. And that flag, my gosh, the official threw it a long ways.
That was the back judge that threw that flag from the end zone.
He threw the flag all the way out to about the 18-yard line.
And Joe Blake's comments provided by Brown's Shoe Fit Company at 410 East 30th in Hutchinson, and Papa John's Pizza at 501 East 17th in Hutchinson. Carry out or delivery? Call Papa John's at 665-7272. That's 665 Papa.
They make good pizza.
They do make good pizza. 3:26. Ball now back to the 24-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and 13. So really not. Well, actually, it did hurt him because McEwen got into the end zone. So
instead of a touchdown, it's Hutchinson ball on the 24.
Handoff up the middle to Del Valle gets just past the original line of scrimmage to the 20-yard line. Going to bring up a second down and 9 for the Salthawks now at the 20-yard line.
Again, the winner of this game will probably travel to Lawrence Free State next week.
And we were having a discussion about where they play and all that. Wide open again in the end zone. Touchdown. And a late flag. I think that's going to be personal foul against the Indians.
That was Kinzer Newquist on that touchdown reception, and you called it. He was so open.
How in these last two big pass plays have the Salthawks been wide open as they were? Nobody around them for 10, 12 yards.
A lot of teams that play against Hutchinson prepare all week for just the run game because all season long Hutchinson's only completed about 11 passes in 8 games.
And I was right, personal foul against the Indians, so that'll be assessed on the kickoff. So the Salthawks will be kicking from either the 50 or the Manhattan 45-yard line.
Probably be the Manhattan 45-yard line, and it will probably be an onside kick attempt.
Good. Carter Boo on to attempt the extra point. And Boo remains perfect on the night.
And the year.
Oh, yeah, the year. 2:48 left to go in the third quarter. It's a 20-point game. The Manhattan Indians 41, Salthawks 21. Back with the Salthawk kickoff right after this.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support Hutchinson Salthawk football. Whether you're working towards your degree or a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
2:48 left to go in the third quarter. It's 41-21. Salthawks looking really good here this second half. Two possessions, 2 touchdowns.
You wonder if maybe that 2-point conversion attempt kind of pokes the Salthawks in the eye a little bit because they looked pretty inspired on that drive.
So we'll be waiting for the Carter Boo kickoff for the Salthawks from as we mentioned, the Indian 45-yard line. And boy, if they do an onside kick and they recover it, good field position for this one. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. And there's the stampede, as Coach Nat calls it. Boo back to kick now. Again, onside attempt up. That was going to be it.
Touched early again.
Yeah. That was pretty obvious.
Did Hutchinson get that one, Joe?
Manhattan still recovered that one despite the penalty.
It was a pretty good kick. It's just that the Hutchinson players are getting a little bit anxious as they run down the field and they're touching the ball before it goes 10 yards.
You know, I haven't noticed this before, but you said that Sam Shields, the big offensive lineman for the Manhattan Indians, was injured and probably wouldn't play. He's out there.
Yep. And as it turned out, he's actually been playing the last couple of weeks. I made a mistake in the pregame.
Hand off to B.J. Young.
The Kansas State's commit offensive lineman Sam Shields, 285 pounds, 6'4", injured his shoulder in the first game of the season, and he missed a few games, but then he did come back. My apologies.
So no gain on the play, second down and 10. The Salthawks seem to be playing a little bit inspired football right now.
Absolutely.
Man in motion. Aschenbrenner back to pass, going long and overthrowing the intended receiver there, Joe Hall.
Excellent coverage by Maddox Hennahaw. I tell you, I'm not going to be able to resist asking Coach Mike Vernon in the postgame about what his thoughts are about Manhattan going for the 2-point conversion up big and now going for the long pass. Hutchinson does have it within 20 now.
It kind of goes back to like with the HCC, those last 2 games that they had, big wins, 89 points. You just can't tell the kids not to play. It's so another pass by Aschenbrenner and incomplete. Intended for Austin Parker at about the 47-yard line, but incomplete. It brings up a 4th down now.
Difference though. Hutchinson Community College and Coach Ryan Rhodes weren't going for 2-point conversions after touchdowns.
That's true.
And they weren't rolling out kind of trick type plays to run up the score. They were just running the football and they were not being tackled.
Aschenbrenner, also your punter as well as your quarterback. A couple of late entries into the lineup for the Indians.
First punt attempt of the night for Manhattan.
Kinzer Newquist back for the Salt Hawks for the punt. And a nice punt, a high spiral. Hutchinson getting out of the way. It's going to be down right at the 28-yard line. And they're going to mark it at the 30. Said it touched one of the Indian players.
Jalen Moriasi for Hutchinson tried to evade being hit by that punted ball, and he might have hurt himself a little bit. He's a little bit slow getting up and hobbling off.
So now we got 1:50 left to go here in the third quarter, and the Salt Hawks kind of looking like maybe we might get a little momentum on our side again, starting this drive from the 30-yard line. So they've got 70 yards to go. McEwen in motion, and the pitch out to McEwen around the left end. Again, getting around the corner. A good block by Kinzer Newquist to spring McEwen around the corner. Gets it out to the 36-yard line. Pickup of 6 brings up a 2nd down and 4.
Without question, Hutchinson appears to be having much more fun playing football in the second half.
I think they are.
Sometimes when you have nothing to lose and you just give it everything you've got, that's when you start making some good things happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like in basketball when players just start throwing up 3-point shots at the end and they start going in.
2nd down 4. Chambers under center. Del Val, the fullback. McEwen and Barlow on the wings. Barlow in motion.
Good
almost.
coverage.
It looked like they were going for either McEwen or Hogan at Chambers with that pass.
I was a little nervous when he cut loose with that pass because there
Jacob
were
Hershey was right there.
Yeah, there were a lot of Manhattan Indians in coverage there. Nathaniel Hansen also close. There were about 4 Manhattan Indians in the vicinity of where the ball landed.
So now 3rd down and 4 for the Salt Hawks. Again, we know they'll probably go for it on 4th anyway, so.
No reason not to.
The way their defense is playing right now, it's not a bad thing, even if they don't make it, because they've been holding the Indians. Del Val with the handoff.
And that ball is out.
Pretty good surge defensively at the end of that play. It doesn't appear that there's any signal yet. Fourth down.
Ball came out on that play.
Good call by Joe Blake, our sideline reporter, brought to you by Brown Shoe Fit Company and Papa John's Pizza. Both in Hutchinson. 4th down and 2 is what the Salt Hawks are looking at right now. They're facing that against this very tough Manhattan defense that has become a little bit porous the last few series.
And that's because Hutchinson is blocking and running harder right now than they were earlier in the game.
So we get a timeout by Hutchinson. 50.3 seconds left in this third quarter. And your score, Manhattan 41, Hutchinson 21. We'll be back after this.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salt Hawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
4th down and 2 for the Salt Hawks. 50.3 seconds left here in the third quarter, and they are going for it here on 4th down. Chambers comes up underneath center.
Strong formation on the right side.
Marlowe in motion.
Oh, they were going to try a little bit of trickery on the counter play to McEwen, coming back to the weak side. Unfortunately for the Salt Hawks, a player moved early.
Yep.
Now that makes it really tough.
So now we got 4th and 7.
That's a lot tougher than 4th and 2. 4th and 2, you pretty much have the entire playbook available to you.
Oh, yeah. Ball at the 33-yard line.
It's hard to run the option on 4th and 7 because it might end up being a give to the fullback, which usually is not going to go for more than 3 or 4 yards.
McEwen in motion. Chambers back to pass. Little screen pass to Del Val. He gets across the 40 up to the 44. Good enough for a Salt Hawk first down. So a great play by Chambers to Del Val on the screen pass up the left side.
Isaiah showed determination because actually contact came about 3 yards short of the first down. He just refused to be tackled short.
So another 4th down conversion by the Salt Hawks. And it's
pretty nifty screen pass.
It was. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. So almost into Manhattan territory. McEwen in motion. He takes the pitch out the right side. Cuts back in. Gets across the 45 to the 47. Maybe only the 46.
Well played by the Manhattan Indian defense. They just kept stringing it out and didn't give McEwen a chance to turn upfield.
Could you tell, Joe, on that play, would he have been able to pick up a few more yards outside?
I think he made the right call cutting it back in.
Okay. So we have a timeout actually, it is the end of the third quarter. One more quarter yet to go. It's 41-21, and we'll be back with the fourth quarter of action right after this.
Big texters, heavy data users, helicopter moms. Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
As we get started here on the fourth quarter, it's 41-21 with the Salt Hawks running, and there's been quite a disparity and then a change in yardage from that in that third quarter.
Hutchinson has now picked up 318 yards of total offense compared to 339 by Manhattan.
Chambers with a keeper. Might have given him the forward progress to the 47 1-yard pickup by Chambers.
Alec McEwen now with 129 yards on 9 carries.
Well, it kind of helps when you have a 62-yard touchdown and then another 40-yard run.
B.J. Young on the other side of the ball for Manhattan, 133 yards on 8 carries.
It's right there even pretty much. Third down, 7 now for the Salt Hawks. Chambers brings him up out of the huddle, getting under center. McEwen, Barlow, and Del Val, the running backs. Pitch out to the left side to McEwen. Makes the cut, turns the corner, gets out to the 40-yard line. Good enough for a Salt Hawk first down. No penalty flags that I see.
That will definitely put Alec McEwen in the driver's seat for the leading rusher in this football game.
Great lead block by Jalen Barlow there. He led the way and picked up a perfect block for McEwen to follow behind.
Thank you very much, Joe. Our comments on the sidelines from Brown Shoe Fed Company and Papa John's Pizza, both in Hutchinson. 1st and 10, the 40-yard line. Chambers under center. Barlow in motion. Chambers back to pass. Oh, almost picked off, almost got through the hands, and then almost into the hands of Alec McEwen. And Nathaniel Hansen on the defensive play for the Indians.
That was a heart stopper because he would have probably had a pick six had he been able to catch that interception.
But it did go through his hands, and McEwen just about had a catch.
Could have been 6 points the other direction. Exciting pass play. Strong right formation, but that doesn't necessarily mean the Salt Hawks are running right.
2nd and 10. Chambers going to keep it just off the left end, and really no gain on the play. We'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
Salt Hawks put extra blockers on the right side of the formation, hoping that the Manhattan Indians would shift to that side of the field, which would allow Hutchinson to run left, but Manhattan defended it well.
Tice Hoover in on the stop for the Indians.
He's making lots of stops.
3rd and 10 now for the Salt Hawks.
Tice Hoover now has 8 tackles for the Manhattan Indians. That's a lot.
It is. And we have another timeout by the Salt Hawks. It's going to be their last timeout, isn't it?
I believe so.
10:01 left to go here in the game. It's 41-21 Manhattan. Back after this timeout.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates, The Shirt Shack, where the shirt hits the fans. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital. Ryan and Robin Swanson of Phoenix Restoration. Kathy McCormick of Wynn Insurance Group. Reno Alcohol and Drug Counseling Services. The Hutchinson Clinic. Chick-fil-A. Salon B. I Need a Cleaners. And Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports say thank you for your support.
The Kansas State High School Activities Association conducts officials, rules meetings, training clinics, and workshops throughout the state with a view to award and providing a sound educational experience for all athletes. For more information on becoming an official in any sport, contact the KSHSAA at 785-273-5329. A public service message from your Kansas State High School Activities Association and KWBW Radio in Hutchinson. And it is 3rd and 10 for the Salt Hawks. McEwen in motion. Ball's on the turf. Tried to get the handoff to Barlow.
I don't think the ball ever actually got all the way to Barlow.
No.
Barlow is a little bit further away from him than Chambers expected him to be.
So a big loss on a play of 5. 4th down 15 now for the Salt Hawks.
Last thing that the Hutchinson Salt Hawks wanted to see happen coming out of a timeout would be a fumble.
Yeah. So, 4th down, 15 now for the Salt Hawks. Chambers brings them out of the huddle. Del Val at the fullback, Barlow and McEwen on the wings in that flex bone offense. McEwen in motion. Chambers back to pass.
Kinzer's open.
Short. The Indians thought they had it intercepted.
Oh,
there should have been a penalty right there.
My goodness.
But they call it incomplete, so the Indians will take over on downs, 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. I thought there should have been a penalty on that. He threw the football.
Joey Meyer got a little bit upset because it was ruled an incomplete pass instead of an interception. He just kind of drilled the football into the turf, but no call. Kinzer Newquist was wide open again, deep behind the entire Manhattan defense. Unfortunately, Dallas Chambers elected to go another direction with the football.
See if the Salt Hawks can pick up a turnover here. 1st and 10, 45-yard line is where the Indians will start. Aschenbrenner still in the shotgun. Handoff goes to Young on the left end. Right at the 50-yard line, a pickup of 5. Brings up a 2nd down and 5 now for the Indians. Young still running hard for the Indians. 8:53 left to go here in this game. 41-21, the Indians on top.
B.J. Young, 135 yards on 9 carries, also 3 touchdowns.
That's probably the biggest stat right there, is the 3 touchdowns.
Quarterback Aschenbrenner has picked up 99 yards. Expect to see him go over 100.
Again, Young with the handoff around the left end. No gain on the play. And a flag at the end of the play.
Selden Jones, Josiah Morgan, Jack Hoover, Maddox Hennehaw. A lot of Salthawks rallying to the football.
Penalty is going to be against the Salthawks. The inadvertent face mask, is that what he's calling?
5-yard penalty tacked on at the end of the run. That would be the most likely call.
Yeah, it was an inadvertent face mask call.
Thank you, Joe. Aschenbrenner still in the shotgun. Young position to his left. Handoff goes to Young, who picks up a yard and a half.
David Waymeyer is playing a tremendous football game from the nose tackle position on that defensive line for the Hutchinson Salthawks. Waymeyer now has 7 or 8 tackles.
Call it the gain of 2, 2nd down and 8, 7:40 and counting in the game. The Indians still leading 41-21. Just letting the clock run down.
Hutchinson's bringing everybody up on the line of scrimmage defensively.
Aschenbrenner with the keeper off the left tackle. Finds an opening. Gets down. He's brought down late by Jack Hoover, but down to the 10-yard line goes Aschenbrenner.
32 yards on that scamper on the keeper by Aschenbrenner.
Just inside the 10-yard line to the 9. So it's going to bring up a 1st and goal for the Indians.
Credit Jack Hoover for making Manhattan run another play instead of just letting them go in for the touchdown, because he had to come a long ways to chase Aschenbrenner down. Everybody for Hutchinson was up on the line of scrimmage gambling. So once you break through that initial wave, you have some open field to run.
1st and goal, Indians. Aschenbrenner in the shotgun. And Aschenbrenner's going to keep it around the left end. Puts his head down. Dragged down at the 2-yard line.
Peyton Cahoon made the tackle. Peyton Cahoon, one of 17 seniors on this Hutchinson Salthawk football team. This is the part of the game where we kind of like to pay a little tribute to all those seniors. Express appreciation for everything they've done for
what appears maybe the last game of the season for them. Could, and for some of them, maybe the last game period.
That certainly looks that way at this point. But again, Hutchinson has never surrendered throughout this second half. They've continued to compete.
And that's what's good about a program when it does that. Young will take it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Number 32.
That's his 4th touchdown of this game.
2-yard run for B.J. Young. Makes the score 47-21. Now we'll see this time if Snowden does that. They're not going to do the swinging gate like they did last time. So
they lined up that way, though, to see what Hutchinson would do defensively.
Snowden on for the extra point attempt. Placement down, kick up, and kick is good. So with 5:52 left to go here in the game at Manhattan, it's Manhattan 48, the Salthawks 21. Back with the Manhattan kickoff right after this timeout.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're first for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started. or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
48-21 is your score. Manhattan on top. 5:52 left to go here in this game from Lou Lane Field, Bishop Stadium in Manhattan. Of course, we happened to see the Manhattan Indians try an onside kick not too long ago. It was not successful, but
would be rather shocked to see them do that at this point.
I think all fans of the Salthawks would just go berserk if that happened. With the score as it is. But Snowden is set to tee the ball up. Alec McEwen is deep for the Salthawks. Hasn't had a whole lot of chances to return the kicks tonight.
Alec McEwen has played hard every single snap all season long. He's a junior. He'll be back.
Look forward to seeing him play next year again. And the kick, another short kick, but right through the middle. McEwen's going to take it at the 17. Goes around the left end. Gets a little room to run. And knocked out of bounds. Knocked out of bounds by Snowden, the kicker, at the 39-yard line.
Good return by Alec McEwen, and a nice job blocking by that return team.
And Snowden prevented a touchdown. I think if he'd have gotten past Snowden, he'd have gone for 6.
You could just see from his body language, Alec McEwen's body language, that he's a determined young man.
I think so. Yeah, 1st and 10, ball at the 39-yard line. Salthawks back in business. McEwen in the slot to the right. Del Val and Barlow. That's a lateral. The passing completed to McEwen and gets it to the 42-yard line.
Wondering if the Salthawks have a double pass in their arsenal because, as you mentioned, Randy, that was definitely a lateral.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do that to where McEwen's going to throw it.
I don't know if I wouldn't have Coker in there on something like that. To take the initial pass, the lateral, and then throw it downfield, because he's got an arm. For a freshman, he's pretty impressive.
He really is an impressive player.
Chambers with a pitch out to McEwen, who's going to cut it inside, gets across the 50-yard line to the 48 before being brought down by the Indians. Going to be good for a Salthawk first down. Again, it shows the Salthawks are not quitting.
No, they are definitely continuing to compete. And Alec McEwen, he returned the kick, pretty good return. He caught the lateral on the next play, and now he's run it on the option. He's
being a workhorse for him.
He's definitely putting out some energy tonight.
So 1st and 10 with the ball at the Indian 48-yard line. You kind of almost want to see the Salthawks get another score here. Del Val with the... Nope, that's Cantu. Excuse me, Cantu with the carry across the 45 to the 44-yard line.
When the Salthawks snap it again, there will be less than 4 minutes remaining in this game, and that means less than 4 minutes remaining in the season for the Hutchinson Salthawk football program.
Yeah, this is such a different game than last Friday night against Campus, because there were times that I actually thought that the Salthawks did quit. But they aren't quitting tonight. And they give the handoff up to Del Val right up the middle.
The Hutchinson excuse me, Randy, I'm sorry. If the Hutchinson Salthawks would have played the entire game, and for that matter, the entire season, the way they played in the second half of this football game, their record would be much different.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. First and 10, Salthawks. The ball is at the Indian 37-yard line. And the pitch to Cantu around the right end. He's going to be, almost behind the line of scrimmage, but he gets back to the scrimmage, maybe a yard gain before being thrown out of bounds by the Indians.
Obviously, Dallas Chambers, the quarterback, one of those important seniors on this football team. Isaiah Duvall, we've called his name frequently at the fullback position. He's a senior. Defensively, Taven Smith at his defensive back position has always been a guy you could count on. Braden Rogers, one of the captains, is a senior this year.
Second down, 9. Salthawks, ball at the 36-yard line of the Indians.
False start by Hutchinson. Earlier we talked about Peyton Cahoon as a senior, battled through injuries, tough young man. Jalen Moriasi, outstanding defensive back. Junior Jaime had to battle some injuries this year, but he's always competed very well. Dylan Peterson come up and made lots of tackles for losses from his outside linebacker position throughout the year. Kyler Burnett, senior tight end for Hutchinson.
Second down and 14 for the Salthawks. 41-yard line is where the ball's at. Barlow in motion. Chambers back to pass.
Oh, almost.
Ball tipped by Michael Doyle and almost into the hands of Hogan.
Almost every pass attempt, the Salthawks have receivers getting open behind the Manhattan defense.
It's like, how do they do that? How do they keep doing that? And why don't they keep throwing it?
Hutchinson has completed 2 touchdown passes tonight.
It's true.
Dallas Chambers threw 2 touchdown passes.
One to McEwen, and the other one to
Kinzer Newquist. Or Zach Hogan, I think, was that first one that caught it. I think it was Hogan and
maybe one. Yeah, right. I think you're right. My apologies to Hogan. Pitch out to McEwen. Gets around the left end, dragging a couple of Indian tacklers with him, but gets across the 35-yard line down to the 33-yard line, where it'll be 4th down and 6.
All 11 offensive players finished that play off. That's impressive. To be in this type of situation and continuing to play hard. And again, compliments to the Manhattan Indians. Outstanding football team that could go a long way in this postseason.
And Joe Blake, can you get any idea how Coach Vernon is feeling because of the fact that they're not quitting?
Yeah, he likes the fact that they're not quitting, and it's good to see the seniors trying to get one last drive to end their career.
Oh, a nice play. Keeper by Chambers, who's back to pass.
He improvised on that. He scrambled, and he picked up the first down.
Was just about sacked for a 4-yard loss. But gets away from that tackler and then gets across the 25 to the 24-yard line and brings up a first down. Yeah, 1st and 10 for the Salthawks. On the verge of scoring again with 1 minute left in the game and counting.
6'1", 185-pound Jackson Rhodes sustained some medical conditions that didn't allow him to play this year, but he's a delightful young man. He's provided us with statistics all season long.
I think Chambers felt the pressure of that one, just got rid of it as soon as he could. He was way out in front of the receiver. I believe that's Hogan that was running the route on that left side.
So we appreciate what senior Jackson Rhodes has done all season long for us. Josiah Morgan, a senior on that defensive line. Tyler Robinson, an offensive lineman. Levi Allen, Caden Pennington, and Damon Cantu. Selden Jones and Hunter Austin, the other seniors for the Hutchinson Salthawks. Perhaps we'll get Coach Vernon to talk a little bit about them at the end of tonight's game.
2nd and 10. Alec McEwen taking the pitch around the right end, dodging tacklers. Getting back to the line of scrimmage, maybe eking out a yard to that.
Official kept the clock running, decided that McEwen was tackled inbounds. Hutchinson might be able to run 1 or 2 more plays.
Coach Vernon's wanting them to hurry up. He wants to finish this season on a high note here.
And, of course, the Salthawks have no timeouts left. Clock ticking down, maybe just 1 more play. Chambers back to pass. Oh, almost by Kinzer Newquist. Oh, and it is intercepted. Picked up right off the ground by the Indians.
tipped up in the air. Kinzer Newquist made an amazing adjustment to get a hand on that football. He couldn't reel it in, and the ball popped up in the air.
Michael Doyle making the diving catch just before it hit the ground.
Pretty impressive interception.
But 6.7 seconds left, 48-21. And they're at the 2-yard line. Pretty much just have to run one more play, and that's it. Just start the clock, and they're going into a victory formation. So he's got room to just kneel down. And there you go. That's going to wrap things up. Your final from Manhattan. It's the Manhattan Indians 41, the Hutchinson High School Salthawks 48-21. 48-21. Manhattan with the win. And we'll be back with the Medicine Shop post-game capsule right after this 2-minute timeout.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids,